Broadcasting live from the Schmoes No Network Studios in Los Angeles, California. It's time for the Schmoes No Movie Show. Tonight, a fun-filled, action-packed adventure with several mysterious announcements. We have special guest John Campea, Jeff Balis, and the ultimate Schmoedown movie trivia final with Josh, Matthew, Broderick, Macuga, and Mark Whispers Reilly. And now, here are your hosts, Christian Harloff, Mark Ellis, and some girl.
Hello, Schmoeville.
I'm not laughing at any of the names today.
I was loving it. How about Project? How are you, Schmoeville? Mark Ellis, how are you, my friend?
I feel good, Christian. The Blue Fairy has blessed me with another 2 hours to be in Schmoeville, and I could not be happier about it.
I could not be happier for the Blue Fairy. Can suck my balls. Turning to my right, I am looking at someone that we have not seen in I've seen her on Far, Far Away, but this is not Far, Far Away. This is the Schmoes No Movie Show. Tiffany Smith, how in the hell are you?
Where in the hell were you?
Been, lady?
I mean, I went to New York Comic Con, and then I was doing some junkets, and then I've been doing some auditions for some TV things, which I can't really say what they're for, but fingers crossed, hopefully we'll see some stuff. Ken, you know who I am, you big poop head.
Oh, nice.
I'll tell you this, and I ran into Tiffany last night. We went to go see Ouija together at a very prestigious movie theater, very, you know, straight-laced, hey, no shouting, none of this. I'm sitting next to Tiffany. My right arm is still sore.
Oh, dude, she's
a grabber. Oh, boy, is she a grabber.
I get really scared.
She's a grabber, and she's a narrator, which means that she, in order to...
A grabbing narrator, you say?
There's a thing amongst people who are scared of horror movies that they feel like if they're commentating on the action, like Madden Summerall doing play-by-play and color analysis, it's going to make it less scary. Like,
I do
You see here, Pat, he's walking up the stairs. Why is he going in there? He knows there's going to be a ghost in the closet.
I don't commentate quite like that. I'm like, why are you going in the closet? That's stupid.
And that's the worst person to do it. Ellis does not like to be bothered.
He was fine.
Inside, he was seething.
Do you know what was really sweet,
You were seething.
I was seething inside. I was seething inside.
You hate to be bothered. He hates it. He hates it when, if I move my fingers while he gets mad. I think Reilly one time was clicking his teeth or doing something, or what was it?
Reilly at the first Hobbit, Reilly was breathing too heavily.
Breathing too heavily. That's what I'm talking about.
For my life.
Poor Reilly. The poor guy was just breathing.
You're bringing this up now? The first Hobbit? 2 years ago?
It was really bothersome, man.
Man, you gotta let things out, brother.
He gets mad. An Ellis thing, though, you know what Ellis will always say is he always turns to me if someone's around that he does, or something's gonna happen, he goes, Ellis is a flight risk. Ellis is a flight risk.
I will get up and I will walk to the front row.
He knows how scared I get of these movies, so before it started, he goes, you don't have a Ouija in your house, do you? And I said, no. And he's like, okay, then you're fine. Let's do this. And we tried to come up with, like, games to play during the movie to, like, help calm me down, too, but we sucked at them.
Yeah. Well, we got the pit boss. You had something that you wanted to say?
Yeah, when I went to see Disney Nature's Bears, halfway through, not even end of the first act, Mark Ellis gets up and is like, enough of this. And like, he goes to the front.
He's a weirdo. He's a weirdo when it comes to...
I went to go sit in the front, but I couldn't leave Tiffany because there's only one thing that Tiffany did last night that really upset me is that she's narrating the movie, right? And then she just looks at me and just loudly, as like we're having a conversation outside, it's like, oh, did you know that's the mom on that Disney show, My Mom's a Witch or whatever?
No, okay.
And I'm like,
stop. Have you ever seen the movie Teen Witch? Like the Disney movie from forever ago, Teen Witch.
Nope.
Oh my gosh, it is so good and so funny.
When Macuga looks through the window, like, what are you talking about? No one's
guys, just tweet if
you know who's seen it.
Witch.
Justine Marino has seen it.
But the lead girl who's a teenager is the mom in this, and I haven't seen her in anything since then.
All right, well, this is chaotic at this point. Listen to me. So here's what we're going to talk about tonight. We have a huge show. Now, not only are we going to have John Campea from AMC Movie Talk, which I am a part of, and we're going to have him talk tonight. He's got a very special announcement he's going to make on this very here show.
Oh,
boy. We're going to talk about
this here show.
Dinosaurs.
We're going to talk about the Ultron trailer when he gets here as well, too. We have something to talk about with the ultimate Schmoedown. Do you want to get into that real quick now before we get to the news?
Yeah, I want to acknowledge the presence of a very special human being in the studio right now. Miss Movies is joining us. Miss Movies is here, back in the studio.
Thanks, guys.
And she brought with her Reese's peanut butter cup fudge, which is something I didn't know could exist. I thought this was like in Time Cop, the same matter can't occupy the same space at the same time. It did, and it's occupying my tummy right now.
What
does that have to do with the? I want to know what that has to do with the.
Well, you see, it has a lot want to do the Ultimate
Where are you going with
Schmoedown
that?
is that it redirects any criticism that I might have received unfairly.
Unfairly? This is not the conversation you and I had yesterday.
Yeah, is it? I can't help if you didn't know that the Arnold Schwarzenegger film was Red
I blew that.
Heat
I blew that.
and not Red Dawn.
Blew it.
But speaking of blue, the Blue Fairy is the only fairy in Disney history named the Blue Fairy that grants a wish in a Disney film. Christian and I had about, what would we say, about a 30-minute conversation.
Easily.
But we didn't do it right away. We got off the air, we handled it like pros, we shook hands like gentlemen, we went our separate ways. I had a set to do, so I could not go join you guys at the post game.
Yeah.
Luckily. And so Christian's like, dude, I'm fine. I just need to seethe. He said he needs to seethe. Yeah. And so I let him seethe. And then we talked to each other. 2 hours later, 30-minute conversation. Cooler heads prevailed.
Yeah.
You realized that everything that happened for a reason.
Right, and then Whispergate happened. And this is a whole other bombshell. I did not bring this up.
The answer,
I did not bring that up.
You did not bring that up.
No.
I didn't. It didn't get brought to my attention until later either. What happened was the question that was asked, the answer to the final Schmoedown trivia question, the answer was Matthew Broderick. Okay, and Facty McFacterson Reilly, who's just so good. The only time he's better than when he's playing in the trivia questions is when he's not a contestant, because he knows every answer and he can't wait to share it with the world. And I'm watching the videotape because it got called to our attention through some fans, and then more fans piled on.
It's crazy.
Nobody was happier about this than me, because it took all that Blue Fairy pressure away. So I'm watching the tape, and what you see is Reilly kind of backpedaling a little bit, like he's an 80s rock guitarist just dancing around the stage. And then you hear Robert. And I don't know if that was him. I don't know, because you can't see his head in the thing. I'm watching this thing like this is a Zapruder film. This is the second controversy that we've had with the Ultimate Schmoedown, and I think the fans are eating this stuff up.
Well, let's ask Reilly first, because he on Twitter and Facebook, everything, we got a lot of takes and everything too. And the question was, did Reilly mouth the thing? Did he whisper?
You just want to put him on the spot right now.
I want to hear his. I think it's fair to ask him what happened during that time, because we haven't talked about it really yet. So what happened during the Schmoedown, Reilly? Can you tell us what happened?
We want the truth.
Tell us what Whispergate. Tell the fans about Whispergate.
Yeah, I caught eyes with Alicia. She gave me and I went,
ooh, yeah.
I mouthed it.
So
I mouthed it.
Did a whisper maybe come out?
I don't think so. No.
Okay.
No. And if I did, I haven't gone back to look at the video.
You know, OJ wrote a book called "If I Did It."
If I did,
I want to hear about if I did.
But I would never want to upset the balance of this, especially like jeopardize Christian's chances or give any answer to Macuga.
No, I just want to point this out, though. Just to be fair to everybody, I'm buddies with Christian, I'm buddies with Macuga, I'm buddies with Reilly. I like everybody here except Tiffany while we're watching a horror movie. Now, Christian is considered a much tougher opponent than Josh Macuga. Now, whether that's true or not, Christian was the higher seed going into this. So maybe if you gave away an answer to Macuga, it helps your chances of winning. This is what I would say if I was prosecuting it, which of course I'm not.
But let's talk about what Macuga did. Classy Macuga. Went and on.
That's a bold statement.
Well, for that 5 minutes, you went on Facebook and he said that he didn't want the controversy.
Yeah, I was in San Diego when I read this. I was lying on a beach somewhere with a couple young ladies, and God, we couldn't remember what happened the night before. But I see this.
Is Ingram a young lady?
On Sunday morning. Don't you bring Rick Ingram into this. I'm reading this, and it says, and I can't believe what I'm reading, is that Josh Macuga said that, hey, he wants to do whatever is cool with Schmoeville. And I think that it's my job.
He said rematch.
As one of the authoritarians on the show, that the de facto judge, because you were embroiled in this controversy.
Yeah.
Christian
I can't make a
Harloff,
ruling.
it is up to you. I'm going to put the onus on you. If you want a rematch right now, I am willing to grant you that rematch right here live from 7:30, 8 o'clock PST. You can go against Josh Macuga again if you want. We'll do the finals next week. This has to be resolved.
So I can redeem myself and say, okay, no more Blue Fairy. Let's get a
there's still going to be a Blue Fairy question.
Let's get a fair contest, go man to man, head to head, me and Macuga. I will say, all right, Schmoeville, no. I'm not going to do it.
Dude, I did the point in the camera.
I'm not
I already sold it.
Macuga fought his heart out. He fought his heart out to win. He really played, and it's not his fault that the Blue Fairy question was made.
Back tears.
And if he did happen to hear, Roger, he's not the one that said it. He's not. He was sitting
Josh,
there.
you didn't hear Broderick at all?
I absolutely did not.
But the one question I do have, though, did Alicia's shirt influence you at all? Be honest.
I'm being 100% honest. Yeah, it did.
Okay, see, and that's not his fault.
And that's
she didn't know the question was coming.
That wasn't like she wore it on purpose either.
That's
Objection, Your Honor. Relevance.
Yeah.
Yeah. What I'm saying is, I don't want to take away from Macuga. What I will say is this: whoever wins, Reilly and Schmoeville may or may not know this yet. The Schmoedown, not the ultimate Schmoedown, but the Schmoedown will become a continuous bit on this show. So we can,
as long as we stay friends.
Whoever the champion is can be challenged throughout it. I want first crack at the winner.
Okay.
So Reilly, are you down for that?
Why are you looking at me? I might not win.
Well, I just said first. I said first crack
wins.
at the winner.
Oh, sure.
So you're okay. So
100% agree.
I'm just giving some props to my boy over there because look, you cannot underestimate this gentleman.
Well, let me just
20 seconds. He's been the Rocky of the tournament.
20 seconds.
Yeah.
Listen, I know we're tight on time. I pulled that out of my butt. I really did. I didn't hear anything from Reilly or Malone. Her shirt definitely like put Broderick in my head, but my thought process was like I said, 80s, early 90s, and I would like to just tell Schmoeville and I thank you, Kristian and Mark, and for this whole thing that. My win was on pure luck. It was pure luck, but the fact that I did win and I get to face Reilly.
Gonzaga, dude. You're Gonzaga.
Gonzaga.
You're Gonzaga.
Hey, look at you, March Madness. Yeah, there you go.
And that's it. Listen, and I don't want to take it away from Macuga, and we're not going to do that. And Schmoeville doesn't want to. Schmoeville wants to see Macuga and Reilly at this point because it was like that's a big. One of the things we talked about for long, the two big upsets, we got upset, and I don't want it to be like every time you and I get into a thing, people are like, "Oh, they're trying to get the Schmoes back in the tournament."
And this wasn't brought to our attention by one of us; it was brought to you by you, the fans. I think the real loser in this, to be honest with you, is the film The Freshman, because no one's watched this movie because this controversy. I brought the question up because it's a funny movie and it's a good spoof for The Godfather.
All right, so what we want you guys to do, by the way, if you don't know and you're watching the show for the first time live, or maybe you're just watching it on YouTube, what you should do is you guys, Schmoeville, the fans, have created your own Facebook page. This is amazing. Schmoeville! And you do a live chat here, and they're probably doing it right now, which I'm sure they are. They are doing it. So go and join them and talk and join the conversation, and we're going to have a fun show because very soon, John Campea will be joining us. We'll be doing the news with Ken Napzok.
Now what's this? Because I haven't. We hung out. We did morning radio this morning, and I roll into morning radio. I'm usually still like up late from the night before. So Christian and I don't really have a lot of time to interact in the morning. We do the gig 95.5. Heidi and Frank are always good to us. We leave. We go our separate ways. I don't know what the hell this means, and I'm kind of panicking. And I'm honest with you guys when I don't know what's happening right now. I know Ken has something to say.
I know, and because.
Don't do it.
Ken and I have been friends for a long time.
Oh,
so,
God.
No. Listen. So I wanted to let him do it after the news. And I think that it's fair for him to do it after the news, and it's tough. It's tough. I said it on my Facebook today. I said it on Twitter that I'm not happy with the news. I'm not happy with it. But
so now I gotta do my normal Ellis is liking the news laughing shtick, which Ken pays me handsomely to do, and now I gotta wait for the other shoe to drop.
Yeah, and then what we're gonna do, because we want to hear, not only do we want to hear your opinions on Ken Napzok's news and the news to the Schmoedown, and when John Campea comes in to make an announcement as well, and all the Ultron stuff, for you guys to get involved. Hashtag Schmoes Know. Get in on the conversation. Do it now, and let's start talking movies. Because I want to start the news, but I do want Campea to be a part of this. I want him to hear the brilliance that is Ken Napzok and the Pit Boss, because...
You're building this up like it's... I'm worried this is the last time I'm going to hear the news. I'm getting emotional here. Tiffany, so...
Yes?
There's a couple of things that have been happening besides the Marvel stuff, too.
Yeah.
I want to know, because Tiffany, who is part of DC All Access...
Yes.
What's the mood like at DC right now with all this stuff going on?
Dude,
because they announced the slate and we haven't seen it.
I mean, we got the slate of all the movies. Talking to a couple people over there, they're like, we're just glad we can talk about it. We're just excited that we can finally say, like, here are the movies that we're working on. And the other part of it that's great is that, you know, everyone is kind of saying, if some of these movies do well, that's not saying that we're not going to get a part 2 to some of the ones that are successful in between now and 2020.
Right.
Yeah, there's plenty of room to sandwich some movies in between.
Yeah.
My big question to you, because when I saw the DC slate announced, I'm familiar with all these titles now because I work in the industry. But much like Guardians of the Galaxy, when I first heard that was being made into a movie, I had no idea what it was.
Yeah.
This Suicide Squad thing.
Yeah.
You're familiar with it. You have been familiar with it. Is this good material for a movie? Is it going to be more Guardians or more Watchmen?
It is the darker side. It's the villains who kind of go in. they get put in prison. They end up having to go on these missions, suicide missions.
Yeah.
But that's what's going to get them out of prison.
Right.
So you're going to get to see some of the characters, possibly Harley Quinn, which, we've all talked about. Katie Sackhoff being excited. I don't know that it will happen.
Well, the rumor is that it's going to be Margot Robbie, by the way.
Yeah.
So, and which
and all the casting rumors, I'm just like, you never know, because it was like the Jason Momoa rumor has been around for a long time. I am beyond excited about that casting because I think he's great for it. And if you look at Jeff John's run, where it's like a little bit snarkier,
he's a badass.
He's a badass. And I mean, I think all Game of Thrones fans saw that audition tape that Jason Momoa did, and I think seeing something like that, you're like, he is not going to be the Aquaman that people laugh at.
No,
he is going to be the Aquaman that is the king.
I love that.
He's the one dude. He's the one dude that you could have cast as Aquaman, and I would have been like, you know what? I'm changing my tune about this guy.
Exactly.
I'm excited.
Yeah, and I think that's happening to a lot of people. But sorry, because I know we're going to get into a lot of the superhero stuff. Before we do that, I want to talk to Reilly about some of the stuff going on the website, because we have.
That was a clear whisper. I heard that loud and clear.
So no, he was telling me before we got on the air today. Alex Welsh, who's one of our kick-ass writers too.
Yeah.
You talk about. We talk a lot about the comic book movies and all that stuff. But we're film fans, we're movie fans, and we were talking about some of the best movies out there right now. One of them is Whiplash. Reilly, what's going on with the website Alex Welsh and Whiplash?
Well, we got an exclusive interview with the Whiplash director, and it's up on the site right now, everyone. So I want you to go. Alex Welsh is absolutely killing it.
Too. Like, Scoot McNairy, he interviews. He's doing an interview
Scoot
everybody.
McNairy. We got people on tap, and so I'm gonna just let the site speak for itself and be excited. But we have probably 3 different posts coming over the next couple days, because he talked to Damien Chazelle. Is that how you pronounce his last name? He talked to him for 48 minutes.
Holy crap.
And got all this information on how he got financing for Whiplash, how it started as a short at Sundance, and then how he got everybody attached, how Jason Reitman was the godfather of this.
Yeah.
It's all in this article. So, guys, go to schmoedown.com.
It's on schmoedown.com. Alex Welch is single-handedly changing my opinion on people from Iowa and Minnesota. I will never doubt you guys again.
Yeah.
Right, now I wanted to tell you guys that finally we have done this. For a long time, you and I, for about a year now, we've been making appearances on AMC Movie Talk.
Yeah, I pop in from time to time. You're one of their celebrated regulars.
I was made a regular in April of this year. It has been a blast. I've had so much fun doing it. We've met some great people along the way, and one of the people that we've become friends with, who is now we've been on the show. We talked to him about his opinions, respected his opinions, gone back and forth. He's called in once, but he's never been on the show live. Ever. And people were saying, when's he going to be on? When's he going to be on? Well, Schmoeville, the wait is over, because bringing to the table now, he's bringing the filthy. Here he is, the one and only John Campea from AMC Movie Talk. Finally. All right, there he is. The traffic kicking his ass, but he is here.
But I am here.
What's up, brother? How you doing? Yeah.
It's been a lot. I'm doing 5 shows today. This is number 4 or 5.
So what were the
today.
other ones?
Insane.
We had Movie Talk this morning. Then I had 2 episodes of Mailbag. Then we have this. Then we have a John Wick screening followed by a John Wick review.
Oh, right. Okay.
And have you seen John Wick? Is this one of those things? Because I know you are a multiple viewing kind of fan. You love seeing movies multiple times. Yeah, you're not going to go 3 times to see a movie.
You've seen some crap boxes a couple times in a row, too,
I went to see Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3 times.
Okay, but
it's not even that good. I just thought it was okay.
The Turtles are worth it, but you haven't seen John Wick yet.
No. It's one of those things. As we've gotten bigger and bigger, I go to less and less. So Amy Rose goes, or Alicia goes, or Miri goes, or somebody else goes. So I don't actually get to see the press screenings very much anymore.
Yeah, well, I think that we have. I know you're tasting movies well enough to know. I think John Campea is really going to like John Wick.
Okay, so here's what we're going to do. John's here not only to talk about. We're going to talk about Ultron. We talked about it a little bit on AMC Movie Talk today. Actually, we talked about it for a while, like 15 minutes. We're going to talk about it a little more today. John's here actually to make a really big announcement. But like we do in this show, we like to tease you. So we're going to do that. And in the meantime, Ken Napzok, the pit boss, has an announcement. Before he gets to his announcement, we're going to hit the news. All right, Jete, hit it. That boy.
That was the old double tease, right?
Yeah, you're good.
One big announcement, another big announcement. Yay!
Jete had 22 minutes to hit that cue. I'm Ken Napzok, and these are your Schmoedown headlines, brought to you by schmoedown.com, your source for movie news, reviews, and clues. On Tuesday, Marvel revealed that the trailer for Avengers Age of Ultron was set to be released during next Tuesday's episode of Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which is kind of like being told the hot cheerleader will give you a kiss at the end of the night as long as you take her Forrest Gump-like cousin to the prom. But have no fear. This is the future where nothing is sacred anymore. So, by Wednesday, the trailer had hit the internet, leaking like it had struck some sort of iceberg while Billy Zane chased two star-crossed lovers with a gun. But before you can say the NSA knows you watched it, Marvel tweeted, "Damn it, Hydra," and released the official trailer. The 2-minute clip gives you everything you want out of a superhero movie: concerned looks on your heroes, a menacing villain, and Scarlett Johansson. The movie is still set for a May 2015 release unless some 14-year-old kid wants to hack Joss Whedon's iCloud and show us now. Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. will be canceled Wednesday. In 2012, Disney's blockbuster film John Carter, which cost $250 million to make and took in $73 million domestically, laid such an epic turd that the definition of failure was officially changed to just the logline of the movie. Well, now Disney's rights to the property, which are the late author Edgar Rice Burroughs' book John Carter from Mars, have lapsed and reverted to Burroughs' estate, and Edgar Rice Burroughs Inc. has announced that they are looking for a new studio to, quote, continue this seminal sci-fi adventure. The company's president, James Solis, added that they are looking for a partner to, quote, develop new adventures on film as chronicled in the 11 Mars novels. Burroughs wrote, "This adventure never stops," which is the same tone my crazy uncle uses when trying to get me to invest in his homemade ear medicine. When reached for a comment on whether he would return to the role of John Carter, the movie star Taylor Kitsch changed his phone number. Earlier in the week, New Line Cinema pushed back the release of the Conjuring sequel from 2015 to 2016, but no one expected they would do this next hashtag clickbait. Sorry. Actually, it turns out that they did it to ensure that James Wan could return to the director's chair, as he is still busy filming Vin Diesel's pecs for the Fast and the Furious 7. This is part of the bigger producing deal that New Line signed with Wan. The Conjuring 2: The Conjured will start filming next summer, which gives your boyfriend plenty of time to convince you that he's not scared. He's just busy that night. He'll watch it on Netflix later. He swears it. In a story popping up today, Aaron Sorkin and Danny Boyle have apparently found their Steve Jobs, and it's Little Women co-star Christian Bale. Sorkin confirmed this in an interview for Bloomberg. Sorkin's Jobs project has long been gestating, what with its rumored 3 scenes, not acts structure. It is also known as the one not starring Ashton Kutcher, proving that when it comes to Apple products, never buy the first version, wait till they release an update. Wow. Another poster for The Hobbit, The Battle of Five Armies, was released, meaning this movie has more posters than false endings in Return of the King. This one is the alleged final poster before the film's November release and shows, well, all of the characters in the movie and 5 armies battling. Someone was paid for that. Also, in a related note, an AP story emerged this week claiming that through March of this year, the production budget for all 3 of the Hobbit movies has reached nearly $1 billion New Zealand, or $745 million American. Warner Brothers and New Line refused to comment on the article. However, the detailed documents showed the cost of practical filming and digital effects, but did not appear to account for marketing and distribution costs. Though it does say that $42 million of that budget went to handwritten notes apologizing for shooting the movie in 48 frames. To date, the first 2 Hobbit movies have made $2 billion worldwide. After years of rumors, Paul Rust writing sessions, and Judd Apatow producing talk, Paul Rubens has told Rolling Stone magazine that a new Pee Wee Herman movie is in the works. An official announcement is imminent. The talks of a new Pee Wee adventure first surfaced about 4 years ago, something Rubens acknowledges by saying the project just kept, quote, stalling and know you are, but what am I, infinity. No official word on whether or not Apatow is still on board to produce, but it looks as though the film will go into production during the first quarter of 2015. Also, no word on how parents who grew up with Pee-wee will now explain to the young children that in 2015 you should not speak to a 62-year-old man wearing a tight suit and telling you to come back to his playhouse to sit on his magic talking chair. And finally, after months and months of rumors turned supposed cold hard facts, Jason Momoa has finally opened up and confirmed that he will be Aquaman. While he seemed to either lack or not want to share the details, he did tell comicbook.com that the character will be in the Justice League movie and a standalone movie that will probably be an origin story. And with that, I'd like to make my announcement to all of my longtime fans. Now that we have this confirmation of this character entering the Warner Brothers DC Cinematic Universe, I'd like to break character and speak for a second, if I may. Over the last year or so, I have told a series of jokes targeting Aquaman, in which I crafted a fictional storyline of Aquaman's constant, often losing battle for respect and approval and validation as a viable superhero from fans, movie studios, and at times his parents. Over the course of the last year or so, many fans have commented with the rage of 1,000 keyboards their displeasure at my jokes, saying I'm
not giving Aquaman his due respect, or that I don't understand the full scope, scale, and skills of the superhero from the ocean floor, or some of you assume they actually gave a damn about Aquaman. But with the confirmation that the very talented, very cool Jason Momoa will be playing this, what I'm told is a legitimate superhero, I'm officially announcing the retirement of my series of Aquaman jokes. He will be disparaged no more by me. I reached out to the real Aquaman for a comment, and he said he was very pleased to hear this and can't wait to tell his parents, which he would do later tonight when he calls them to ask for $20 to renew his bus pass so he can get to work because Arby's doesn't clean itself. I'm Ken Napzok, and those are your Schmoedown headlines brought to you by Schmoedown.com.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
Oh, man.
Ken Napzok
I just
crushing it.
want Jason Momoa to be in here one day, and I want Ken to say those Aquaman jokes.
No,
in
he
his
won't. That's
face.
why he's not doing it anymore.
I'm glad that's what is retiring. You guys got me really worked up because I can't have this show without Ken's news. I hope to one day open for Ken at a Las Vegas casino.
Now, there's a lot of stuff that he brought up there, and
So much good news.
And we got the movie news guy here. The guy. So we got to talk to you. The first thing last week on this show.
Last week.
Yeah, last week on this show, Mark and I we talked about the Bale thing was floating out there about jobs.
Yeah.
Now, Mark went on record to say that he doesn't think that if Bale was in this with Sorkin writing it and then Boyle directing, that this is an Oscar caliber movie.
I never said that. I said he's not getting nominated.
Oh, right. That's what you said. So he's not getting. He's not getting nominated. It's not
him,
Oscar.
not the movie.
You said
not the whole
You said
movie.
no Oscars around the horn. You got to re-listen to the show.
Okay.
No Oscar nominations
I'm
for
just
any
curious,
part of it.
and you may feel the same way. My stance was that if that's the combination, we're getting nominations.
It's a lock.
Yeah.
It's a lock.
It's an absolute lock. Yeah, well, look, the Academy traditionally likes biopics. They like things based on true stories. They often don't, but they often do, right? You're getting Sorkin writing the script, automatic. You got Boyle directing, automatic. We've never had a Boyle directed Sorkin script, right?
Not
I don't
Sorkin,
think
no.
so.
I don't,
No.
Riley? Nothing.
I don't think so.
No,
Okay.
so we've got the 7 moons of Mars kind of lining up here. And then you got Christian Bale, which we actually, you and I were talking about this earlier, actually. We've actually heard whispers of this like about a month and a half ago that may come to fruition.
Yeah.
So no big surprise there. No, it would be shocking if this wasn't one of those, Lincoln across the board, almost every major category gets a nomination.
Well, I don't know how much cough syrup I had last week, but I think that the script, because Aaron Sorkin gets nominated for everything. Okay, I don't know that Danny Boyle will get nominated, and I don't think Christian Bale is going to get nominated, regardless of how good his portrayal of Steve Jobs is, simply because another dude did a pretty good impression of him a couple years before.
But have there been any films that have been like remakes or retelling of the exact same story that quickly?
Like
that
nobody
have gotten
played Ray
nominated?
Charles 3 years
Yeah.
before
Right.
Jamie Foxx played Ray
but-
Charles.
I mean, there was Abraham Lincoln Vampire.
But
which did not get nominated.
Keep this in mind, though. Nobody saw the Ashton Kutcher version,
and it wasn't
like,
wasn't supported the way that because this one is based off of the actual autobiography that was written on Jobs, the one that they're doing with Danny Boyle, the one that did Abramson, I believe, was who wrote it, and that's who they're basing this entire. And it was cooperation with Jobs. The other stuff was just public record, and there wasn't any cooperation with the family. So and it stopped. That movie stopped the Christian where you wanted to see more of. So there's so much more story to tell.
Well, boy, do I feel like Steve Wozniak right now.
I remember, and speaking of Woz actually came out against that other, Jobs.
Yeah.
So I'm saying like none of this is actually real. None of this is actually true. But remember this too: all acting nominations come from a marriage between performance and script.
Right.
I mean, you're never going to get an Oscar nomination with a terrible script. It's just not going to happen. So you've got a Sorkin written script, Steve Jobs. Nobody saw the Ashton Kutcher one, so no one's really going to be comparing it to it. So I think the chances are pretty damn good.
And if you're looking at Newsroom, like anything that he's been doing on that show, it's like he's at the top of his game. His writing is fantastic, and I think even looking at that character that Jeff Bridges plays, I mean, you're gonna get something of that look with Bale.
And Bale, when you put
He's
Bale
at
in
the
there,
top of his game.
really
There's only
is.
one way to go. I'm rooting for this movie to be good, by the way. I just, I don't mind showing out $5 to my good buddy Christian.
Am I the only person though that I'm not? I have like. It could be really great, but I don't really.
It's nothing. It's nothing that I'm like. That's the one I got to see that year.
Yeah.
I think you'll change your tune when the trailer comes out.
I mean, I'm gonna see it for sure, but I'm not like, oh yeah, I really got to see a Steve Jobs.
But
movie.
I'm saying, I think I want to know.
I'm with you, kid.
The guy was a genius and changed the way technology, like the way we.
I completely agree.
Yeah, so I'm
going to tweet from my Apple iMac how much I don't care about
But
seeing
you know
the
what
Steve
is
Jobs
fascinating but concerning at the same time? This 3-scene thing. I've always been fascinated about it. We've never really, we haven't seen many examples of things like for those of you who don't know, Sorkin has said this movie is going to be 3 events, 3 scenes, that's it. And I believe they're always supposed to be just just before a major Apple announcement, like right before he announced the iPhone, right before he announced the iPad, and the other one might have been the iMac, as a matter of fact. But that's fascinating. It thrills me. But at the same time, it kind of worries me a bit. It's like, what kind of narrative structure can you really set up in that?
Yeah.
So I'm really curious to see in the hands of a writer like Sorkin what he can do with that.
And the last act is just going to be a U2 concert. So we'll see what happens.
Okay, well, moving on. We're gonna be talking. Just the majority of this, we want to talk about this Ultron trailer. You guys have been asking about it. We're all huge fans about it. We're gonna talk about it in a second. What I want to ask John though too, because what we like to do on this show as well too is for Schmoeville, for those people at Schmoeville who don't know you, what you've done with AMC Movie Talk, you started in the blogosphere. You started in like 2002? 2003. 2003. Okay, so first of all, how did you start? Because there's so many people out there right now that are watching and tweeting out there that want to get into this space that we're in now, and they really want to get involved in reviewing, writing movies, just for their love of film. What inspired you to just get out there and start doing it, and then how did that progress from doing that into building AMC Movie Talk as to what it is today?
Well, as a quick plug, then I actually I put together a 2-hour video of just talking about how you can get started in the movie blog sphere and making movie videos and all that kind of stuff.
Is that on AMC Movie?
It's on our AMC YouTube channel. I'll fire you guys off the link so you can share with people.
We'll put that on the website too.
Earliest childhood everybody knows this. Earliest childhood memory of mine is my mom taking me to see Star Wars, and it stuck with me my whole life. All my pajamas, all my bed sheets. My cat's name was Luke Skywalker. Everything about that. So lifelong. Lifelong love of movies since I was a kid. And then back in 2003, I was blogging before a lot of people knew what blogging was, but not specifically about movies, but I was always really passionate about movies. And I just started realizing I was blogging mostly about movies. So I went and bought a domain name called themovieblog.com. It was so early in the game that domain name was available.
Yeah. Nice.
So I started a website called themovieblog.com. I had like 13 readers the first month, which I thought was awesome. By the end of the first year, it was like 100,000 readers a month.
How do you do that? Like, how do you build, especially in 2003? Like, we know now with whether it be, because from what we've done with YouTube videos, throwing that to the website and tweets.
Getting other social media people.
YouTube wasn't around back then. Tweeting wasn't around. Facebook wasn't really around back then. How do you build that audience at that moment in 2003?
Yeah, well, actually, when I do like seminars and stuff like that about how to develop your blog and stuff like that, that's always the first question. How do you get an audience? And I always tell people you're asking the wrong question. Like, don't.
But
I always tell people
is what I want to know. Not
he's saying you asked the wrong question. I did. Okay, let it go.
But how you did it at the time was, I think one of the key things back at the time was, it's kind of a passé thing now, which was SEO, was search engine optimization. Google was the whole thing back then. So you did what you had to do to make sure that your articles, whatever, got to at least somewhere in the first page or two of Google in the search results, right? But from there, it all just became about content. Because people can come and find your content because you got high on Google one time, but if your content is crap, then they're not going to come back. So we started having some success with Google rankings and the various other search engines. Some other sites started to pick up on it, things like that. I grew it to about 250,000 readers a month. At that point, my friends I was working in law at the time. And I had some friends, I remember this day really clear, held an intervention with me. And they said, because I just made my first check. I had just made my first check for $400. $400 from Google AdSense. And so my friends had an intervention with me. And they said, you have to quit your job. This is what you love to do. You need to quit your job.
Oh, those are some good friends. I thought they were going the other way.
No, unless they were trying to get you out of the office because you were better than them.
Or he spent that $400 on booze. That would have been another reason to have the intervention.
I can neither confirm or deny anything. So I quit my job. I moved out of the place I was living in. I moved into a 400 square foot bachelor apartment with which no air conditioning, barely had any running water. This was up in Canada, so I was living there at the time. And then about a year later, we hit 1 million viewers a month. A few months after that, Time Magazine did an article on me, and then I started coming, making visits to LA. And then the guy who created MySpace bought my website from me, hired me on to stay on, and moved out here. He was a big dick. I stole my site back.
Wait, you know Tom? Tom's a dick?
Well, his name isn't actually Tom. I think Tom was the Vice guy or something like that.
But Tom's just the lackey.
And then about 5 years ago, AMC contacted me and they said, this is what we want to do online. We need somebody to come and create it and build it and run it. Would you want to be that guy? And I said, sure. So I've been with them. I thought I would do it for a year.
And
I've been with them for over 5 now.
And they let you do the videos because you've built it for what? Because we know from being on the YouTube space, it takes a while to really build it, and having that AMC name and being able to, for that kind of support to say, okay, look, this is what we want to do, and for them to be able to, it says a lot for them, I think, as a company, that they'll because some companies won't always allow people to be opinionated on their shows.
Right.
It says a lot for AMC that they because you've done stuff to where you've put your opinion out there and said, no, this is how I feel about this movie. Is there a drawback from that too, or do they encourage that a lot of the times as well?
No, look, I can't talk highly enough about AMC and how they've allowed us to look. This is my big saying, and I say, AMC had the vision to let us start this thing, and they have the integrity to kind of stay out of our way as we do it. They have, with us, created a real church and state relationship. Like, they completely stay out of it when it comes to anything we do editorially. They completely stay out because they see the value in it. And you got to understand, for any corporation, let alone a corporation that's almost 100 years old, to do that is mind-boggling.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, what they have allowed us to do, we only can do what we do because they allow us to do it.
Right.
But they have. I mean, I remember I was in Vegas a little while ago and having dinner with the vice president of the company, and they said, look, dude, seriously, you've got one job, make great content. I've got 2 jobs, get you what you need and keep everybody out of your way.
Yeah.
And it's like, what other kind of company or corporation that's bankrolling this sort of thing will say that?
Well, you put together a great crew.
Yeah, when is the...
I like your crew. I like your crew a lot.
When is the next seminar that you're doing, John?
Well, the reason I bring up the crew also is because now I know you also came here. We're going to talk about the Ultron, and then we have a special segment that we want to do with you as well too. But before that, you actually came on here to make an announcement.
I did, and you know, we should get to that because this whole his opinion about Steve Jobs thing is making me rethink it. But so I better do it now.
Yeah.
And get this out of the way.
I cannot wait to see Batman play a nerd with glasses. I cannot wait to see that.
So here's a story for your viewers, for people who do not know this story. All right, I have a life philosophy.
Yeah.
My life philosophy is don't be the best you can be. My life philosophy is if you're going to do something, strive to be the best in the world at it, like the absolute best in the world, like nobody's your equal sort of thing. You're not necessarily going to achieve that, but you will always overachieve what you would have been at your own personal best, I believe. So, and my other philosophy is this, is if you're going to be the best, you have to work with the best. And I believe that totally, wholeheartedly. I have my whole life. So a few months ago, I guess it's more than a few months ago now.
It's almost, April.
We were growing again, and we needed some more team members. We needed some more people on the Sons AMC team. And, you know, through my right hand, her name is Amy Rose Eisenbach. We put out a casting call, had like 50 people apply who, I'm not kidding, are the best of the best. Like, people applied that I have been a huge fan of as movie journalists for years. Like, I was like geeking out. Like, we were doing our interview day, and each person would come in. I'm like starstruck by how much you have no idea how much of a fan I am of you.
Yeah. The answer's
you're not getting the job, but you're awesome. It was, you know, matter of fact. And anyway, so we're doing all that. Amy Rose gives me a call one day, and she goes, hey, you know the Schmoes who come on and guest on the show? I'm like, yeah. She goes, Christian Harloff wants to come in and meet with you. I'm like, and my first thing was, why? Like, why would he want to come in and
laughed him out of the room?
Like, I said, well, you know, he's got his thing going with Schmoes, man. He's doing a good thing with Schmoes. Why? She goes, he just really wants to come and meet with you. I'm like, all right, set it up. So you came in. And we sat down, and we had a very frank discussion, and I had a couple of reservations because I said, you're doing some great stuff at Schmoes, all this kind of stuff. I'm like, well, like, what about Mark?
Your wife? And also your other wife?
So I'm like, what about Mark? Because you guys are doing such great things at Schmoes. I don't want to see anything disrupted with your chemistry then.
He's like, who?
And I remember what you said to me. You looked at me and you said, because you're great at flattery, you looked at me and you said, I said, so in the light of all this, why do you want to do this? And you looked at me and you said, because I want to work with you. And I'm like, well, hell, I believe in working with the best, and I think you're great. So so let's do this. And then, so we eventually set up, and then Mark started, or Christian started working with us. So then, as things were going really well, you know, you're great on the show. You know, our on-screen chemistry is pretty good. We feed off each other really well, and your interaction with all the other crew members is great. And our audience loves having you there, part of the team. And it was great. We started talking about, let's make this a little bit more serious. Like, we got to first base, let's see if we can get to second base.
Now, so second base, Tiffany.
I'm not watching Nymphomaniac.
Sorry.
So we
Won't do it.
We started talking about, well, how can let's do more together. Let's increase our involvement here. So we started talking, and the idea of Mark coming on board came up, and I'm like. I'm like, well, there's got to be a better idea than that. But they were like, no, let's talk about Mark. Because Mark has been a guest a number of times on AMC Movie Talk. And we talk. So what I am actually, all joking aside, what I'm really thrilled to announce is that a few weeks ago, Mark, Christian, and I sat down, and we came to an agreement with each other. And I'm bringing Mark Ellis onto the AMC Movie News crew.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. All right.
And it was actually...
Thank you, sir.
party foul.
That's when it all
Cody.
went south.
Yeah.
And that is how you curse a new partnership, kids. You
And it was
spill
actually the
imported
day.
lager.
You guys, it was a Thursday because you guys had to leave our meeting
do the
and
show,
go
yeah.
do the show.
Yeah.
And that was the day that Mark was wearing a Sons of AMC shirt.
Right. Yeah.
And that was that day, and that's what came. So starting November, actually, Kristian is even going to be more involved with AMC. You're going to be doing even more shows there every month. Mark is going to be doing Jedi Council, Movie Talk, movie review, all that kind of stuff. And Mark is going to be joining us as well starting November 1st. So I'm really excited. Like I said, if you're going to be the best, you have to start by working with the best, and you guys are the best.
Thank you. We're
And,
excited. Yeah.
I'm really excited to have you guys
If you
here.
bring in Kristian, always like that movie, The Best of the Best. This is the best of the best, too.
And I should say, just because she's sitting at the table, like Tiffany and I had a sit-down discussion a while ago, and because we were talking about a whole bunch of different stuff, and I remember I sat down with Tiffany, we were talking about it, I said, look, at some point, we are going to work together. We're going to find some way, somehow, someday, in some avenue, we're going to work together.
Just have to clean up the potty mouth.
This is just such a great team of people up here that is just fantastic. What you guys have done here, and Kristian and Mark, what you've both done with AMC already has been great, and I'm just really excited. I couldn't be happier to have you guys
I
with
look
me.
forward to my opportunity with AMC. This is exciting. I know that John's philosophy is be the best in the world. That's not my philosophy, so I won't be stepping on your toes.
I think I have to say the obvious thing at this point, and that's just don't embarrass us.
I guarantee you this. I will tell you this, and everybody from Schmoeville and from AMC, I guarantee you I will be the sweatiest member of that panel. You heard me, John Schnapp.
Yeah.
I'm going to be the sweatiest member of AMC Movie News.
And Kristian assured me he would take full responsibility for
him. I would.
We're all
well,
good.
very proud. I'm very proud of it. Very happy about it. And
good.
you know, we're gonna get to Ultron soon. But all of this, when I'm thinking about this, it's very, very interesting.
The views expressed herein.
What the hell was that? That was sanctioned.
Is that Ultron?
No, it's just.
It was Ultron.
It's all very interesting. It shouldn't.
The IRS is breathing down my neck like it's some kind of personal vendetta against Bobby Finstock.
Oh, wait
This
a
is
minute.
welcome.
It's Bobby Finstock.
There he is.
Finstock.
There he is.
Why is it like I'm back and
Look
forth?
at his
shirt. Look at his shirt.
I don't want to
Kenny,
look at him.
Tiger
Look at his
shirt.
shirt. Look at his shirt. Campea has no idea what this is all about now. Look at Arch.
Is he wearing socks with his sandals?
Yeah.
That's a Canadian thing, by the way. We're all for that.
Look up in the sky.
JT doesn't want to put your mic on.
Is it a plane? No. It's Bob Finstock.
Nice Finstock. And now, Campea, are you familiar all with Finstock?
I get a lot of spam messages, but I
Finstock?
pretty much ignore them all. Yeah.
Okay. Well, Finstock has been. Do you have something to say first of all? Do you want to say something to anybody here before I introduce?
Why are you pointing at me?
Well,
Why
because
are
you guys haven't been together in a long time.
It's been a minute.
And I want Campea to know what the hell's going on.
Have you been working out? Well, look, I got this great Halloween party going on next week, right? It's at Gene Wilder's house. It's a potter. It's we're doing a pottery contest. You could be Demi Moore, and I could be Patrick Swayze.
No.
All right, listen.
I think it'll be good. We're gonna do high art. It's,
You broke up with me
but
in our non-existent relationship a while ago now.
Yeah, but I played a Ouija board the other day with this old lady, and I was like, "Does Tiffany love me?" It said yeah, 100 times in a row.
It said yeah.
You pushed it there.
Hey, Finstock, who did you play that with, honestly?
Myself.
Yeah, okay, all right, listen. All right, so Campea
Rule number one, never play it with yourself.
Finstock hosts
By
one of our
yourself.
show, Box Office Breakdown. He goes, he's like Rain Man, but he's been part of the show. The fans love him. He's a very wrestling type character. But what he does is he comes into our guests and he tells them a story. And in this story, it's a movie related story. It's something that happened. And in this story, there are 3 facts. There are 3 things that are actually true.
All right.
In his story.
Amid the kudzu of crap that's
Yes.
going to come out of his mouth, there's 3 things that are actually true. It's your job to identify those 3 facts.
Wow.
And I will tell you that he's a fantastic
He's
liar.
sneaky, John.
He's a good
Just
liar.
winked
He's
at me.
sneaky. Winked at you? Well, you miss him a little bit. Don't you miss him a little bit?
I don't actually. No.
You haven't heard the Kenny the Tiger story?
No, we don't need to hear the Kenny the Tiger. Who is Kenny? Tell us real quick. Who's Kenny?
You know, he's a Down syndrome retarded tiger.
All right, stop.
He died.
No more. I don't.
He's in
He
heaven with
Passed
Don Knotts.
away,
You lost
and
me.
that's why there's a halo over Kenny. I think that's a nice tribute
right, so
to Kenny and
it's-
his family.
Yeah, we have to talk about Ultron here, so I need you to go quick.
Okay.
And I need you to tell Campea the story.
And I got to pick out the 3 true facts.
3
They're
true
all
facts.
going to sound like lies, though.
right.
All right, let's. All right, JTE, let's get it. Okay. All right, Finstock, you're on.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
Why is he stretching to tell a story?
He gets excited.
Plus, you know, it's the shirt.
Get ready.
Yeah.
That's the shirt.
The shirt's really tight.
All right.
Wait, what happened with the knapsack thing? Real quick.
What do you mean knapsack? He retired.
Okay.
You're the producer now.
He retired Aquaman.
So I don't want to be like the Asian chick. who went to-
Let's go.
Okay. All right. Basically, it's about the movie Iron Man. Have you seen it?
Yes, I have.
Okay. You have to tell John Campea.
Oh wow, JC initials. You and Jesus Cristo.
Come on, let's go.
Okay. Basically, the movie was in development for about 15 years and went through about 20 writers. And by the time they got the set, you know, typical Hollywood, the script wasn't even finished. Okay? So, most of the scenes between Robert Downey Jr. and that numbskull Gwyneth Paltrow weren't wrote. You know? So basically what had to happen was Downey Jr. was improvising the whole thing. But Gwyneth Paltrow is, like, obviously, once again, a complete idiot, and wasn't really quick enough to improv enough with him. So there was a guy named Ahmad, who played Ahmad in the movie, who worked with Favreau on the movie Swingers. He came up to John and was like, hey man, I could help you out, because I could do this stuff. You know, he's like, all right, you know what? I don't have anything else, go ahead. So basically Downey would say the word, Ahmad would be off to the side, Gwyneth Paltrow, and he'd mouth the words of Gwyneth Paltrow, and she would say that whole stuff. Basically what had happened after that was...
So it was a Cyrano de Bergerac sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly. He was so good at it, they hired him from Iron Man 2, Iron Man 3, and apparently he almost wrote half the Avenger movie with Robert Downey Jr. and the ghostwriters that they have there. The crazy part about it was, like I said, he's a stand-up comic. He had a one-man show called, like, Muslims Don't Use Toilet Paper or something like that. I don't know what it was. Anyway, that being said, now he's like Robert Downey Jr.'s main man and plays on his bowling league team, crazily called the Token Muslims.
All right, that's the story.
Yeah.
Holy crap!
Yeah,
There's a lot of stuff in there.
There's a lot of stuff in there. So
All right.
three facts that you can out of that entire story.
I know for a fact Muslims do use toilet paper. I'll point that out.
Okay, so I know one of those facts is absolutely true of Iron Man 2, but so I'm going to take a guess that maybe it's true for Iron Man 1, that they actually showed up and started production without a completed script for Iron Man 1, because I know they did that for Iron Man 2.
Okay.
Is that a fact?
Which is why
that is a fact.
That's a fact.
That's one fact.
One for one.
All right.
So that's one. That Robert Downey Jr. Gwyneth Paltrow improv'd a lot of their scenes. I know that's a fact.
Fact?
And third.
Well, I mean, she didn't improv anything.
She didn't improv.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
I don't know that that's a fact.
Okay, so that's not a fact. Okay, all right. So we'll give you two other ones.
So the improv thing, and then the third one. Wow. I mean, it's too cheap to just say John Favreau did indeed direct the movie.
Yeah, or Gwyneth Paltrow's a complete idiot. leading white girls down the wrong.
And I will go that the first draft went through about 20 different writers.
All right. So what are the
But
three?
and for the full admission, that's a guess.
Okay, three facts. So we got the one. He got one fact right.
Yeah.
So what are the other two facts?
Well, he said the 20 writers?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it went through about 20 writers.
Okay.
That's two.
And what's the third fact?
Well,
I think he said the thing that they did actually improv their scenes, but I didn't.
Right. But is that
it's not technically true.
okay? So what's the third fact?
So that thing about
So there was
she had
someone
the lion's
giving her-
mouth to her. That part's true.
Yes.
Wow, I did not know.
By
that.
Ahmed?
No. Ahmed is a stand-up comic.
I use a buddy of mine, yeah.
Is he on his bowling team?
No, that's not true.
all right, Finstock. So
You got Tiffany with the bowling team.
yeah.
I'm like,
so-
that's random. You never know. I feel like Robert Downey Jr. might be on a bowling team.
It was somebody else who mouthed the words to Gwyneth Paltrow because she couldn't do it.
all right. Well,
That's
Finstock.
really, I did not know that.
Well,
That's
thank
cool.
you very much. It was a very nice appearance. Very subtle. Ken didn't have to take you out in handcuffs today.
No, I was hoping
Are you
not,
sticking around? Are you sticking around for the? Oh,
Please
never mind.
no.
Sorry about that. Okay. All right. Well, Finstock. We'll see you soon. Make sure you check out Finstock box office.
So, box office
Yeah.
breakdown.
Yeah.
I got a
What
couple
else do
of
you
new
need before-
contests
hurry
coming up.
All right, quick.
No on the pottery?
No.
All right,
on
goodbye.
the pottery.
Goodbye.
It's a maybe.
Goodbye.
It's a maybe.
All
It's a
let's-
no.
We
It's
gotta
a
talk.
hard
We gotta
no.
talk about Ultron here because we only got John for a little bit, another like 7 minutes. So let's get into this Ultron thing. All right. Newest member of AMC Movie Talk.
No, you really put me on the spot now.
All right, so we did our review of the Ultron trailer. What are your over? What are your
I
overall?
like the Avengers.
Overall thoughts.
from DC Comics. Oh god. I thought the trailer was fantastic. It was a darker tone than obviously the first one, and I was expecting that because every sequel now has to take the template of we got to be like The Empire Strikes Back, and we got to be a little bit darker than the previous one was. And it doesn't look like all of the Avengers are going to make it out of this one alive. What it does look like is that it's perfectly setting up the Civil War storyline that we could be getting in Captain America Trace, because that was the rumor, is that now Iron Man's going to be in there. So it looks like the Avengers are going to be splintered off after this, and I don't see a lot of happiness. I don't see a lot of levity like we saw with the first Avengers film, maybe after the first half hour of this new movie. John, your take.
Something I said earlier this morning, what stood out to me the most about the trailer was what we thought exactly. James Spader's voice emits art.
Yeah.
He's painting a picture with his voice. And he brought so much, I mean, we all knew that he was going to be great as the voice of Ultron, but I don't think we were prepared for how great he would be. And just his voice dominates the whole trailer. It's incredible. A lot of very cool shots. There's a lot of intensity in it, a lot of darkness. That one shot of Ruffalo just sitting curled up in his shirt, looking like he's about to cry.
Yeah.
I mean, that's, you know, you got Thor picking up Tony by the throat. You know, as
hammer.
Yeah, with the hammer
drops the shield and breaks it in half.
The shield broken, all that kind of stuff. Look, I've watched now, today, to this point, probably about 25 times I've seen the trailer. I love the trailer.
And when you do that, are you trying to pick up new things or just to watch it and it's an enjoyment for both?
I just love it.
Okay.
Like, you don't... well, I don't know if this is an R or a PJ show, so I won't say it. But my one criticism about it, and this is kind of playing devil's advocate, okay? And you and I talked about this earlier. My one criticism about the trailer is that it is a very single-note trailer. It is dark and glum from beginning to end, painted with one brush. Now, I still loved it. I thought it was great. I thought it was wonderful. But I've talked to a couple of people that have said, maybe that didn't really do it. It didn't draw them in, like, help them get excited for it. There wasn't, we were saying there's not, if you watch the trailer, there's not one smile. Except for Ultron. There's not a single smile in it. Everything is just dark and bleak from beginning to end. And that like I said, it's a painted with one brush kind of trailer. But in this case, me personally, I didn't think that was a bad thing. I loved it. But I can see how that could be viewed as a little bit of a criticism for some people.
Tiff?
I mean, I think when you look back at the original Avengers trailer, there was stuff that Joss held back. Like the stuff with the Hulk, he very much was like, I want to save this for the movie. Yeah. And so I think that when you look at this trailer and you get to see the one brushstroke, knowing what was shown at Comic-Con, where it's like, you see all of them making the jokes together at the beginning before, you know, trying to pick up the hammer.
There is some humor in the film.
You know it's Joss Whedon, so you know there's going to be humor there. And so for me, it was just exciting to get to see all these characters and be like, okay, they are going to go darker. We are going to get some new characters. Because there's moments where I'm like, one, we don't know who Andy Serkis is.
Right.
Two, there's a scene with...
I think we kind of know who he is.
I mean, I've heard... Okay, two things I'm leaning towards. Claw.
He's Claw.
There is potential that...
Don't say Strange.
No. Okay. No, the Mandarin. That would be like mind blowing for me if they were like, he's the actual Mandarin.
It could be interesting, but if you put
you never know.
I think
you never know.
And again, we talked about this morning on Movie Talk. If you put him side to side with Claw. And
the photos,
but not just that. They have been teasing out properties for such a long time. They did it with Stephen Strange in Captain America.
Agreed.
And it just didn't even fit in the tone of the movie. It's basically them going, hey, look at Andy Serkis. Bet you didn't know he was in it. Well, he is. And if you're a comic book fan, you put things together, you might be able to guess that Black Panther's coming in soon. I think that's what
And seeing Andy Serkis in that trailer really got me excited because when I'm watching the Avengers 2 trailer, he's not the first thing on my mind. I'm thinking about the Avengers. I'm thinking about Ultron. And then you see it and you're like, oh, yeah, Andy Serkis, and you see Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, and how are they going to factor in? This trailer does not really give away how they're going to factor in. I want to spin this forward a little bit. Is this the best trailer to have released first, given what John just said, and how Christian likes superheroes struggling? Is this the best one to release to the public? Because, again, it's one brushstroke. Like you said, it's very, very glum.
I think
there's no happiness whatsoever in this trailer. Is that the best one for everybody in the public to see and be like, man, that looks
You look
heavy.
at Winter Soldier, though, and that one was a lot darker than the first Captain America. And so it's like, I think that the Marvel fans in general are ready for that. And so it's like, okay, they're going to go even darker, but we still know you're going to get those moments of heart. You're going to still get those humorous moments because it's Marvel. Like, they're not going to get rid of that altogether because then they'd be DC and they can't do what DC does on the dark side of things.
Well, you pointed out, I think, the same thing. This is what I was mentioning earlier. This was a trailer made for Marvel fans. And let's face it, that's most of the people out there if you consider $1 billion at the box office. This was not made for the average movie-going audience who may not be a Marvel fan that they're trying to attract in to see it. Those trailers will come later. But I felt like this trailer was definitely targeted to those who are already at least a little familiar with the Marvel universe and understand what's coming.
Did you see the trailer yet?
No.
I want you to watch the trailer because you're not a superhero guy, and I really want to get your.
But you're great on the mic.
You're pretty good on the mic. I want to get your take on it. So take a look. But overall, what I would say is, in regards to your question, is this the trailer to release? I say yes because it's part of it's Marvel has done something in their continued storyverse, or whatever, so that they have,
good word, yeah. If it's not already, it's
not.
It
Should be, but in their continued storyverse, well, they should. That it's a television show at this point. It's like a really elaborate television show, and this is the chapter that's dark. This is the chapter, and it should be sold as such. When you get the second trailer, you'll get that comedy. You'll get the okay, guys. Just to let you know, I know that you saw that bleak trailer, but it's still there. And that camaraderie is still there.
Yeah, this trailer, it wasn't like an Emily Dickinson poem. I mean, there's some exciting action in there, and it just looks like a lot of stuff. Like New York.
The Blue Fairy wasn't in there, by the way, because there's Pinocchio.
Pinocchio references.
The soundtrack.
The Blue Fairy could make an appearance.
The song that they had in that was so perfect.
Yes.
It was
so good.
Well. It was so eerie, and you're just like, it definitely. If you don't know the story of Ultron and what happens, where it's like, he becomes sentient and he can do everything on his own. So, as Pinocchio's story goes, I mean, Pinocchio ends up being a good boy, but...
And keep this in mind, too. Remember, we were just saying, I felt like this was a trailer that was designed primarily for Marvel audiences. Yes. When was this trailer supposed to air first?
The TV show, yeah.
So, with a Marvel show, right?
So, I want to see if you speak on that for a bit, though, too, because I know that you're not the biggest fan of S.H.I.E.L.D., neither am I.
Apparently neither is Ken Napzok.
Nobody is.
I'm like, who is actually?
But this was a reach. This was a reach for them to pull in the audience, regardless, even with that one thing. Now, this has to be completely depressing for everyone involved in that show. It has to be, right?
Like, this is a 10-inch dildo right up the ass for the producers of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Like, seriously, forgive my language and everything, but I mean,
at this point, fuck it.
Look, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is a TV show whose ratings have been doing this. They've lost over two-thirds of their audience since the series premiered, and they just hit their lowest number ever last week. They needed this influx, and hopefully it would have been a good episode, so then people will carry over. And it was a great idea. It was a super idea. I do not like the show, but I still watch it because apparently I hate myself.
Yeah. Well, you're also hoping as a fan that it's going to get better, that it's going to be more ties in, that makes you happy to be part of this universe, being a fan.
And first season, not great. It got a little bit better, and then it just got really bad.
I just like the idea of knowing that you hate this TV show and having to watch it every week, like you're a member of the Illuminati. Like you have to torture yourself every so often. Like, all right, let's start the whipping.
I'm a sucker for everything Marvel, DC, comic book, movie, fanboy, whatever. So if it's on, it doesn't matter. It's like having a really hot, abusive girlfriend. Yeah. It's like, she's horrible for me, but I'm staying.
You know this pretty well.
I think it also gets harder when DC is doing such great things with their shows, where it's like you can see them compared now, where you're like, oh, why can't S.H.I.E.L.D. do a little bit better?
Taste your own medicine there, Marvel, huh?
That's true. Yeah. Well, I hate to say it, but we're running out of time here because we got producer Jeff Balis coming in a second too.
Is he going to give me a job too?
No, he's going to fire you. But I wanted to thank John. Finally, thank you so much for being part of Schmoeville tonight.
Thank you for having me, guys.
Thank you for having us on AMC Movie Talk. We're happy to work with you, and I think we're going to do some great stuff together.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
All right, guys. Again, follow John Campea at John Campea. Make sure also that you're watching AMC Movie Talk. It's on every day at AMC Theaters on YouTube at 11 a.m. PST. We'll be back right after the break with producer Jeff Balis.
Hey, I'm Ken Napzok.
My name is Maud Garrett.
And this is the Jedi Alliance, a celebration of the greatest saga ever told, Star Wars.
In every single episode, you can expect so much Star Wars goodness. Not only do we put two things in the Star Wars universe against each other in Duel of the Fates.
We have great trivia, guests, and also some fierce discussions over pronunciations of certain ships.
And we can't promise that we won't be doing our very own sound effects or impressions and impersonations.
This is true. We've got up-to-date Star Wars news, speculation on episode 7 as well, and you can find us on iTunes, where I want you to subscribe, rate, and review.
Oh, and you can also find us on the YouTube channel, which of course is youtube.com/SchmoesKnow Podcast. Rate and review, you will.
Yes, you will. That's the Jedi Alliance on the Schmoes Know Network.
Hello, Schmoeville. My name is Robert Butler III, and I need your help. Many of you guys might know me as a longtime Schmoevillian, and I've been helping the Schmoes upload their archive podcast to the SK Podcast channel. But I call on Schmoeville for some help. I am starting a Kickstarter to raise $3,500. The purpose of this Kickstarter is to help pay for the short films I plan to submit for different colleges. As many of you know, film school requires you to submit a short film or piece of work in order to consider your admissions. So I really don't have the money to personally finance a professional looking short film myself. So I'm coming to Kickstarter to ask for your help. I promise this is for a good cause. Any help would be greatly, greatly, greatly appreciated. Thank you very much and have a great day.
Hello, Schmoeville. This is Mark Reilly here.
And I'm Jeff Snyder.
And we are Meet the Movie Press, and we are taping shows every week with special guests from Variety, from Badass Digest, from all over the internet, all over the geek blogosphere and the trades. We are breaking down the news every week, the most hot stories, the biggest scoops, and we want you, Schmoeville, to subscribe, rate, comment on the iTunes and YouTube channels on the Schmoes Know Movie Network.
You have such a handsome voice, Mark.
Well, thank you, Jeff. I like being here with you. So, guys, come on. Check us out every week. Meet the Movie Press. We're excited to be doing this. We're excited to be breaking down everything. And we want you to come with us every week for this wonderful journey we are on. Right, Jeff?
Please.
So, without any further ado, let us hit the music, Johnny Ice.
If you had an American Express black card, where would you take me on a first date to impress me?
You know, I would, if I had an American Express black card, I would, well, first we would go get drinks. But you would pay for those drinks, of course.
We could go to the library, maybe I can blow up everything, you could read some books.
With my black card, I could take you to space with Matthew McConaughey because I was in a movie.
Wow, okay.
Let me tell you what we're going to do. We're going to go get steak, okay? And we're going to take that back home. And if you overcook that steak, oh my God, if you overcook that steak, I swear I put my fist, woo. Just you better make sure you cook that steak right. Don't you burn that steak.
If we were making out on a first date, would you prefer me to be 100% sober or a bit drunk?
Heavily intoxicated.
Bane?
Heavily intoxicated. I'd prefer if you and me were both sharing the same bottle of sherry that I got from the Batman.
If I wanted to do a threesome with another guy, would you agree to it?
Bane.
Absolutely. It all depends on who the guy is. If it's the Batman, yes.
If I farted really loud when we were out in public together and you heard it, would you say something or would you act like it never happened? And what if it smelled really bad?
Bane?
I'd actually go down there and try to smell it. See what it smelled like. A girl with a good smelling fart always works for me.
How is that mean?
I don't know if I appreciate a woman that farts, but if you want to rob a bank with me and then you fart in the vault, yes.
Who wins the contest? Is it the Joker? Is it Bane? Joker wins.
That's fine.
Joker.
I like my men on top.
Oh, wow. Joker. Reilly and Macuga taking the game. All right, Schmoeville, JTE trying to get everyone to take a nice nap. Was that Interstellar, JT?
Mystic River.
Mystic River. Oh, good. So everybody's going to really be depressed after the beginning.
Nothing brings up the vibe of a show like some Mystic River.
Regular Casey Kasem. All right. So we are back, Schmoeville. We just had John Campea on now. Joining us, it's very exciting here because I've been trying to get this guy on the show for a little bit too. I've been buddies with him for a long, long time. He is producer, my friend, Jeff Balis. What's up, Jeff? How you doing?
Jeff, hey. All right.
Yeah. It was funny because we were standing outside and Jeff's like, so what the hell are we going to talk about tonight? And I'll tell you, what I want to talk to you about is Jeff's producer, successful producer, has been doing this for a long time. And I wanted him to come in and talk to Schmoeville because we have a lot of people who watch the show that want to make movies. Try like even during the break, we have a guy who's like doing the Kickstarter to make his own film and short films.
Are you talking about Finstock? That's
yeah, Finstock.
He asked me for a nickel out there.
Finstock did. Yeah, Finstock asked people.
He's like, I don't know how to do
that
Kickstarter,
tiger passed
but
away. Yeah, it's not a charity anymore.
He's got like a dead bird in a cage. He's a weird dude. Now, what I wanted to ask you was, so it's different now, like from when you started. Obviously, I think the way you can raise money for film and all that. If you could give people out there advice as far as being a producer, getting started. I know so many things that like it's a tough road, but what would you do?
Are we trying to encourage?
But no, you know what? Give him the hard. Give him the hard.
You know what? I have a question before we get into any of this. When I hear the term producer, I instantly think you are Daddy Warbucks and you just got money just coming out of your ears. Because the producer, those are the people that pay for the movie, right?
I like that he just starts nodding. Yep.
And I'm not saying you're not a very well dressed man. You're a dapper individual. You smell terrific. Where do you get the money to make movies if it's not your money? How do you sucker people into giving you money to make a movie that may or may not be good at the end of the day?
That's the hard part. I mean, you basically producer goes from creative to completely not creative, just money. right? So it's kind of on that whole spectrum. So I typically am not the money guy on film. So then you put together a package and you try to do the razzle dazzle and get money guys excited about it.
And sometimes you run into a problem where the money guy tries to get creative and then it turns into kind of a mess.
Everybody tries to get a little creative,
yeah.
I mean, the best ones are the ones that know what they know and know what they don't know.
Yeah.
Usually they try to kind of, there's a lot of inefficiencies. They try to kind of figure things out. But they usually have some input on it.
What if we put nipples on the bat suit? Now go with me here.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because
You said make him sexier.
Make him sexy. Don't put Clooney in there. We're talking about like Kickstarter, what I brought that before too, as far as starting up these smaller films and finding ways to do that. You were part of a project that actually helped do that through HBO. The first and second Project Greenlight.
Yes.
So I know that they're redoing. Are you part of the new one?
I'm not.
You're not.
No.
Okay.
But so you'd be part of Stolen Summer. Right?
Yes.
Was the first film with Aidan Quinn.
Oh, wow.
And,
Big fan of the show.
I loved watching Project Greenlight because it was cool to see a behind the scenes view on how movies get made, and occasionally Affleck and Damon would pop in. You'd be like, I know who those guys are. And you see these others talking about making a movie, and it's like, this is the same crap that me and my brother are talking about when we go to my dad and ask him, can we buy a camcorder? It feels like the same process on a much larger scale, so it was neat to see that.
Well, it was, for me, it was basically on-the-job training. Like the first time I went through it, I'd worked on movies, but it's different when you're kind of thrust in and you're making the decision. So
and the added pressure of being on HBO and all that stuff too, right?
Yes. To a certain extent, you kind of ignore that a little bit. Or what really happens is as time goes on, you've done so many stupid things that each incremental stupid thing you do, you're not. You say something stupid, you're like, they could bury me anyway. Right. So you kind of get used to it a little bit, except when bad things are starting to happen, then you can the camera people can smell blood, and then they're around, and really the only I would just open the door, I'd go to the bathroom, and I would shut the door, and I would turn off my mic, and I would just be like,
oh, really? Yeah. But yet you went back for season 2.
I went back for season 2. Yeah, yes. So I went back and I was like, and I actually, after the first Greenlight, Chris Moore and I, who had been my boss, basically kind of I had learned under him, and my relationship with him had been very positive, but also we would get into it. So we'd have arguments, and we'd clear the room with the things we were talking about. But I really respected him. But it was in the brochure before I did the first Greenlight that we were going to be fighting, because that was sort of our relationship. And after the first season, he and I sat down and we had a couple of breakfasts and we kind of talked it out, and we actually kind of got to a place where we sort of understood. So I knew I had a better idea of what was going in. And you really, the one advice I can definitely give to filmmakers is you learn like 99% of what you need to know about making a movie from making your first one.
Wow, yeah.
Because everything on the next movie is either, wait, this didn't happen before, so this is probably a bad sign, or, man, I screwed that up last time. I'm going to make sure that I know what transpo's doing, so I don't get buried on the, so you really kind of get a good metric going forward.
There's only so many practice reps you can get before you actually just have to get in the game and just start making a movie.
Well, and it's about getting the right people around you too, because where you're saying, sometimes if the money guy tries to get too creative, you're like, no, know that you're good at the money side, this creative's good over here, and then do those jobs that you guys are great at.
Yeah, that's great. I will be clear though, you let the money guys do what the money guys want to do. Like, the goal is to make them happy, and then they want to kind of they want to keep going.
Because not everybody, not all money guys are the guys who are like, oh, I know how to make a movie. Put that person in there and
what is that accent?
I picture some guy from like Bulgaria or something coming in just having a lot of money.
That wasn't Bulgarian. That
started as Arnold and then turned into something.
You know why? He's still thinking about that red heat question from last week.
They killed me. It's funny because I wanted to also ask you, do you keep in contact with any of those dudes, Chris or Ben Affleck or Matt Damon?
Chris, I do. Ben, not really. I've seen around.
I hear he's doing okay.
Ben is, he's okay.
Speaking of the bat suit,
I'm not too worried about him. Matt's doing okay as well. We did a small project for water.org with him last year. It was like sort of water.org, and then working with a lot of YouTube guys to get that out there.
And I wanted to bring that up because if you've been with Schmoeville for a while, our Prometheus review, Jeff and his partner made a little animation for us for Prometheus. It's awesome. If you haven't checked it out, go to our Prometheus review on the main channel and check it out.
Don't watch our review, just watch the cartoon
Just watch
part.
the
No,
animation.
take the whole thing. But we did that was for ADD TV,
Yes.
which was an animated show, and we did one for Matt, which is basically why you should care about the water crisis.
Yeah.
but it's funny. It's not it's not work to watch it.
And he does.
It's
Well,
really
that's the thing with
enjoyable.
him is that he's obviously he's got a political agenda that he's out there in the forefront with his messages for sure. But he's also like you said, he does things with humor. He does even when he's on any type of show that he's on. He's always throwing that comedy in there. It seems like he's got a pretty good sense of humor. I don't know how long you've known him for. But.
He good sense of humor and just a nice guy.
Yeah.
Genuinely, very just a warm guy.
Okay. Well, the other question I had for you too is even working, whether it be Project Greenlight or the movie that you produced, Waiting, as well too. You get to see these actors, and this is producers and directors in general, of these actors that come out, and maybe at the time you either give them a break or you give them, whether it be the first job, second job, whatever it is, and then you see them kind of go on and have pretty lucrative careers. Like, who are some of the people that you've worked with that you've seen them kind of go on and do their thing, that maybe whether or not you're still in contact with them, but just knowing when you're watching them, that dude or that girl's going to do something special.
Well, on Waiting, Dane Cook was somebody that we.
You were great, by the way.
I was like, God, you kind of look like Dane Cook, but
yeah, get him, Jeff. Get him.
Topher Grace.
Yes, obviously, a great looking Dane Cook.
Yeah.
No, Dane was the first guy we met. Rob McKittrick used to go see him do stand up at Dublin's, I think, on Sunset, and he took me to go, and he was just hilarious. We thought he was really funny. He wasn't big enough at the time. There was really only one role. He could play what was the Ryan Reynolds role. He just wasn't well known enough at the time. But we were like, we really like you. And then by the time Ryan came on, the movie was going. Dane was starting to kind of really sort of break, and we begged him to do it. And he, there was like Cool Cook, Chef 1, Chef 3. We're like, we'll combine them all into one character. And he came in, and he was actually great. I mean, he we didn't, it was kind of a small production, and he just kind of came in, and the real only big pain in the ass thing that he said was, hey, is it possible to get an adapter so I can play my Xbox and my trailer? And I was like, all right. That was it. He had a little mini Doberman, I think.
Yeah.
But he was great. He came in, he crushed it. Obviously, he's gone. Shia was somebody, Shia Lebouf, who was in.
Yeah. Now, how old was he when he did Stolen Summer?
Yeah. He was 16. I think he was 16 because we had to teach him how to drive. Oh no, he knew how to drive. He had to drive. We had to teach him how to drive a Willys Jeep, a World War II Jeep. He's
someone who fascinates me, and the fans will attest to this in the fact that I'm.
That's the nicest way you've ever said it before.
I've been hard on him. I've called him Shia LaBoots many times, and the reason why is not because of his acting skills. I happen to think that the man is a very, very talented actor. I really do. It's the antics that have been going on.
Just a little kooky.
Well, but this is antics. I mean, look, from what everyone said, I have not seen Fury yet. You said he's really great in the movie.
He's great.
I thought he was great in Lawless.
He was my but he was my favorite part of that movie, and I thought it was a really good movie.
Yeah, I mean, and I think with him, it's just. Do you know enough? Like, what's going on back there? Why is it a shtick?
What did you do to him on the set of Stolen Summer that makes him wear paper bags on his head now?
Well, I think the thing about Shia that, I mean, your original question though of like, seeing somebody back in the day. I mean, Shia, we were Project Greenlight 2. We sort of learned on the first Greenlight that we needed to have the movie, the TV show go right up to the release. So this one we had the release set right after it.
Kind of like Ultimate Fighting or something.
Ultimate Fighting, yeah. But we didn't have an actor. And so we couldn't push the schedule, and we had some like TV guys and we had some okay guys, and just nobody was there. And this kid walked in the room, his hat was sideways, and he was just like, yo, and just started basically. I can curse, right?
Yeah, at this point, this show, yeah.
Okay. But just kind of started talking shit to Chris, and he was just sort of like, basically owned the room.
Yeah.
And I remember just the moment, even before he even started this, I was like, I mean, that's the guy. Like, there was just something about him. And the thing about Shia, even back then, was like he has a real, just sort of an immediacy. And it's why he's a great actor, is because there is no, there's a kind of really not a filter.
He doesn't think 5 steps ahead. He's I'm right here now.
He doesn't. But there's also like it's hard to describe it, but it's sort of like more of like an auditory brilliance that is like, he can talk like really fast and sort of like he used to have his voicemail message was this. It's almost like gibberishy, but kind of genius poetry sort of thing. And I think and we've worked with him a lot recently as a director, and it just really impresses me. I will say,
you
like,
directed him. Is that
no, I have not directed him. He's directing material. So he's directed some music videos and some short films and some different things. And he's got a real, he's got a real interesting perspective on a lot of things. And even there's one the scripts that have come that I'm like, I'm not sure. I'm not sure I really got it. He really has a way to bring it to life. And I think a big part of it is because he absorbs a lot from directors. He's worked with a lot of great directors.
Yeah, all right. I mean,
if as a producer, I think one of the things is not only seeing somebody like Dane Cook and knowing that he's going to knock this role as the cook out of the park, right? Mm-hmm. Or seeing somebody like Shia LaBeouf being like, that's a really talented kid. When somebody like Ryan Reynolds, who's the lead in Waiting, I went to go see Waiting because I was really excited to see Dane Cook in a movie, right? And I see Ryan Reynolds, I'm like, that's the guy from Two Girls and a Pizza Place, right?
Yeah.
Well, Van Wilder had done at that point, hadn't he?
I hadn't seen Van Wilder.
Okay.
I had not paid to see Van Wilder.
Gotcha.
But I watched Two Girls. It was a good show. It was an underrated show. Yeah. Watch it. So Ryan Reynolds now, he's going to play another superhero, and he also was great as lead in romantic comedies for a while. As a producer,
say he was great in Green Lantern, and I was like, please don't say that.
I didn't hate that movie as much as everybody else did. Can you prognosticate that, or do you look back on something and you're like, man, I had no idea that guy had that ability in him?
On Ryan Reynolds?
Yeah.
There was, I think it was Van. I mean, Ryan Reynolds was. You knew. I mean, Ryan Reynolds has. I mean, he's a good-looking guy. He's got presence. He's funny.
Abs.
Like he's got abs
for days.
Which is,
I like that you got flustered. He's got abs.
That's true.
Yeah. He's somebody that wasn't that. You're not that surprised.
I could have seen that coming.
Yeah.
Right.
And a lot of these. I mean, I don't know. I mean, just casting is a lot of times you see people and go, that's good. Yeah, they were good. They were good. And then you just wake. 2 days go by and then somebody else comes in. You're like, everybody else is shit.
Right.
That it's just there's certain
Is there a flip side to that too? Is there a flip side meaning that is there someone that came in one time because I was watching an old episode of the Dinner for Five with John Favreau and Jason Lee was on there. Somebody how he hates auditioning. He just hates it. Right. So is there a time? And he said because he goes in there and he's better in like a room. He'd be better talking to you and at a bar one night having a beer. Oh, Jason would be great for the part. You can't do that with everybody. So like if somebody comes, anybody ever come in that maybe wasn't great in the room and then you saw him pop up in another film and you're like, damn it, where was that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there have been people on set. I don't want to say, but it was in a movie and it was a role that I loved, and they got there, and I'm like,
they fell flat.
we've just lost that role. This is going to be like there were a lot of these great moments, and that wasn't funny. That wasn't good. And then you see the cut, and you're like, they're great, and you're like that's the reason that this person has been in 50 movies and they're good. I've definitely seen people that are a disaster on set, or you're like, this is a real problem. What are we going to do? And then they cut well. Yeah. And part of it is, there's something that they know.
Can you elaborate on that a little bit more for those who know? Because that's fascinating to me too. Because so in regards to being like cut well, if people don't know, how does that work? Like, let's say someone has an okay performance but cuts well, like the editor, is that the editor basically that we're relying on here, or?
I've definitely heard editors say like, this person owes me their career.
I made that movie.
Film. Yeah. I've heard editors, but yeah, I mean, a lot of times it's just they give you. I think again it comes like, for me, the thing that actors have and that is the thing is just immediacy. It's it's a connection. It's just a real sort of thing that you can't fake. Like that's what Shia has a lot of these things that you sort of look at and there's just kind of there's sort of lights up in a way, and it's it's a charisma. It's a thing that getting the line right and the intention and all that is important to building the character, but really in a lot of ways comes down to that. And I think that some people that have that, you don't necessarily see that, but a good editor can be like, these moments are real, and that's what you want, is just real.
Well, and you see some auditions, like the Jason Momoa one that's been going around for Game of Thrones, or where you're saying Shia walking in and they're not doing the lines. They just walk in, embrace the character, and they're like, I'm going to do whatever I want, and then I'm going to get this role. And sometimes that works really well, and sometimes it falls completely flat.
It's also it's an extreme confidence. It's no different when someone when a guy's hitting on a girl in a bar, walk up and the guy's confident. Maybe he doesn't say the greatest things, but goes in there and he's confident. The girl's more likely to say, "Hey," but
2006 Harloff, ladies and gentlemen, there he is. You've been out pounding around with single man Harloff. What was it? What were those nights like? How do you produce those nights?
Very calm. We're just hanging out.
Christian told me, he's like, I will never tell you about those days.
I know.
I want to ask you this because you've been a producer. You've been working in film since the mid '90s, late '90s.
Let's say late '90s.
Late '90s to now. was it easier to get a film financed and made off the page? I'm not done yet. Off the page to the finished product back then, or now? Because it seems like it's easier financially to get a movie made today, but it might be harder to get eyeballs on it because there's so many other ones that are just like it that are out there circulating. So easier then or easier now?
I mean, it's a great question that you've pretty much answered. It's It's tantalus as you get closer to it. As you move closer, the thing actually gets smaller and smaller and smaller. And yeah, I mean, is it? Waiting, we made for $3 million, and that was a risk then. And nowadays, $3 million would be insane to spend on an independent movie. There's definitely,
Why is that though? Why is it?
Well,
so
because you don't have home video for a big part of it, and you have really what is the barriers to entry in making a movie have gone. I mean, if you think about making a movie in the 50s or 40s, you needed to have a secretary with a hardline phone to messenger your messages to get. You didn't have.
Susie, pass me through to RKO Pictures.
You didn't have access to the equipment. I mean,
exactly.
now you can shoot an awesome movie on an iPad.
Yeah, you could shoot a movie, but also and so like when I started, or even like when I was working with Chris Moore in the late '90s,
the late '90s, mid '90s, you were
mid college,
running around Star Wars. Yeah.
Before that, Chris. He didn't have a cell phone when I started working for him, so he was producing movies without a cell phone. I mean, that's what they were doing, and you had people typing up. It was just they didn't have email, so you would messenger scripts and things like that. And so, from all that stuff to obviously the cameras and equipment. We shot on the first half of my films were shot on film, and the barrier. That in itself is $100,000.
Right.
So. Which is the cost of a movie now. So the fact is, there's so many movies, and it's so inherently attractive to just make a movie that the question is, what do you do with it once you've made it?
Yeah, and I think and that lies into once you're done with shooting it, then the problem of the marketing comes into, and that's why I think social media comes in so hard to play sometimes too. And you have bringing it back again to like these Kickstarter campaigns. Are you for or against the Kickstarter thing?
I mean, I'm for it. I mean, with limitations, I would say, I'd say rich people using Kickstarter is potentially
like a guy like Zach Braff is like, I want to make this movie, and I know I'm rich and famous, but can I please have your money to make this movie?
Right.
My adoring fans, is that? I don't want to throw that guy under the bus, but is that an example of somebody that maybe you're like, why does that guy need a Kickstarter?
I mean, look, I understand too in terms of fans getting involved. I mean, I think what they're trying to do with Indiegogo and Kickstarter is actually make it so that people, and I think there are laws that they're trying to get around, but basically that if you put in your $50 or $100, you should at least get that piece of equity. I mean, I think that the hard part is if you're investing in that movie, you should actually invest in that movie. If that movie becomes a hit, you should get your money back.
Yeah.
And so, but no, I believe in it. There's an Indiegogo film that I'm actually a part of. There's a guy an editor that works for me that's doing it, and he's from Florida, and he's like, will you, and I thought the script was really good.
Yeah.
A guy named Mitch Glass. I'm gonna pitch. Check it out on Indiegogo.
Yeah.
And he wrote a script that was really good. He wants to make it for $60,000, and I'm like, sure, it'll help do it, and I think it's.
All right, I'll throw $5 in. I want some creative control over this project. I mean, I'm not just going to give you $5.
Well, you mentioned.
By the way, you guys can you can come. You can be in the film.
Done. My God! Later, losers. I got a gig on AMC Movie News today, and now I'm going to be in a movie.
So before we're going to go to break in a second here, but before we do, here with producer Jeff Balis, what are you working on right now? What are you doing? I know you just mentioned this project. Is that what you're kind of focusing on right now? What's going on?
Well, truthfully, I'm doing everything I can to get out of the film business. So,
really?
Yes, we're doing a lot more television now.
So tell the kids out there how to become a producer in film.
That's why the answer is, am I talking to them or to their parents? But I would say, I mean, it's definitely tricky. I mean, film is changing.
TV's where you're going right now.
TV, I mean, not exclusively. We're still doing film, and there's projects we're putting together. But in terms of the hard part about film is each time you're just reinventing it. And you do it, and unless you're really doing the big kind of blockbuster films, it's hard, and the distribution, the ways to get it back. It's just if you need to make a movie for $300,000, it's hard to do that and make a living, and they just take so much time. So TV is obviously very attractive, but my first love is film, and so we still really do work on that.
Well, Jeff, are you want to stick around for the finals here?
Oh yeah.
All right, Jeff's gonna stick around for the finals.
Hey, Willie, he's getting into TV.
We are, and when we get back, we're going to do the finals of the Ultimate Schmoedown. It's been 15 weeks, and the moment is here. Josh, the Wild Man Macuga, will be going up against Mike Tyson, 1986. Mark Reilly. It is going to be something special. When we get back, Schmoes No Movies. Mark Ellis, Christian Harloff, Tiffany Smith. Woohoo!
What's up, Schmoeville? It's me, the Wild Man, Josh Macuga. You guys know me from the podcast and Wild Man TV, but did you also know I have my own talk show? It's called Between the Sheets. I bring on comedians, TV personalities, adult stars, and we talk about everything, but mostly sex. So go to my YouTube channel, The Casual Mafia, subscribe, and see every episode of Between the Sheets. We done? Yeah, I'll be right there, sweet.
Hey guys, Maria Menounos here, and I want to share my newest book, The Every Girl's Guide to Diet and Fitness, with you. Basically, every woman always stops me and asks me how I lost 40 pounds, so I decided to put it all in one book. Everything I did to lose 40 pounds step by step, and how you can too, is in here. I did it with no time, no money, and no willpower, and now I'm going to show you how to do it too. You can pre-order it on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Target, Walmart, wherever books are sold, and it's out June 3rd. So I hope you guys love it. I hope it helps you in your weight loss journey, and please, please tweet me and update me on your progress at Maria Menounos. Thanks.
Hello, Schmoeville.
I'm Alicia Malone.
And I'm Scott Mance.
And we are from Profiles with Malone and Mance, an excellent show that you should all be checking out.
Every week on Profiles with Malone and Mance, we are going to look at our favorite directors, our favorite filmmakers, our favorite actors, all sorts of fun trivia. We're going to count down the best movies. What else we got on the show?
Fun guests. Lots of surprises.
A little trivia, a little quiz show action going on.
Have we convinced you yet? I hope so. If we have, please look up Profiles with Malone and Mance on iTunes. Subscribe, rate and review, and make sure to subscribe to YouTube/Schmoes No Podcast for all the great podcasts that are happening on this network, but especially Profiles.
Profiles with Malone and Mance every week on the Schmoes No Network.
Stand-up comedy, sketch comedy, screenwriting, radio, acting, professional wrestling, love, life. Ken Napzok, the producer of the Schmoes No podcast, has failed at all of these things, but his friends haven't. So join Ken as he makes his wonderful friends your friends, including some of your favorite Schmoes No characters as they discuss life, the universe, and everything on The Napzok Files. Available on Stitcher and iTunes. Hashtag The Napzok Files to join the conversation.
So we go now?
What up, Schmoeville?
What's up, Schmoeville? It's Josh Macuga here.
Steve Simone.
We are the hosts of Guilty Movie Pleasures here on the Schmoes No Network.
And it's pretty much the funnest show ever because we just talk about the best movies ever.
Yes, exactly. Movies where explosions, there aren't supposed to be explosions, and karate kicks where they just might not be.
Yeah, but every time you watch them, it makes you happy.
Exactly. So tune into us, subscribe to our channel, rate us, like us on iTunes.
5 stars.
All the time. And like Jack Burton said,
what you gonna do, Schmoeville, when Macuga and Simone run wild on you?
Welcome back, Schmoeville. It is just about time for the Ultimate Schmoedown final round. If you didn't know from the music, you do now. We are so excited to have Josh the Wild Man Macuga. It really does. There is a buzz in here. All of a sudden, we're going to be continue to enjoy the company of Mr. Jeff Balis, producer extraordinaire, watching the final Schmoedown. Josh the Wild Man Macuga versus Mark Facty McFacterson, Yodi Reilly. But first, I got some very exciting news, guys. Tiffany, I date a lot now. Been going on a lot of dates. I don't know if you guys can tell.
Yeah, there
one
was
of the reasons,
no one next to you at the movies. last night.
is because I figured out a better way to take care of myself, to groom myself. One of those is Dollar Shave Club, because there is nothing worse than actually having to go out to a store and buy razors. Because the first thing you have to do is remember you need razors in the first place. Then you got to get in your car, you got to drive, learn how to drive stick. If you're me, you got to go to the grocery store, you got to find the guy that has the key to the glass case that contains the razors. You have to talk to that wizard behind the curtain, then he finally gets them for you after he's done getting off the phone, translating the emoji text he got from his girlfriend. It's very annoying. And then it still costs like $25 to get the razors. Not doing it again. I joined DollarShaveClub.com. For a few bucks a month, DollarShaveClub.com delivers great razors right to my door. DollarShaveClub.com is so much smarter than going to the store. Their plans start at just $3 a month. You can sign up once. It takes 2 minutes. Then sit back, and the blades arrive like clockwork. You can shave with a fresh blade every week. There's no membership fee, no commitment, which Mark Ellis loves. Then they have a money-back guarantee. So you have nothing to lose by trying them out. Stop going to the store for overpriced razors. Do what I did, do what Ken Napzok did, do what Christian Harloff did, do what Josh Macuga did, do what Finstock should do, and join DollarShaveClub.com/schmoes. That's go to DollarShaveClub.com/schmoes. And ladies and gentlemen, we are now going to take 2 phone calls from Schmoeville. And they are going to be playing for the prize, which is, we got an incredible grand prize this week. Not only are we giving away a Ripped Apparel sweatshirt, right? We're going to be giving away a movie poster and a Blu-ray to be named later.
Okay.
Whoa. Christian has been full of teases this entire program, and so he won't tell me what the Blu-ray is, but we promise you guys it's something really good.
You'll find out tonight?
It's the ultimate Schmoedown. We might find out tonight.
Okay.
Whoever wins is going to find out eventually. Ooh. We got our first caller. Caller, you are in Schmoeville. Who do we got?
What's going on, Schmoeville? Alan Rocha from Tampa, Florida.
Alan Rocha, who, by the way, came out to Comic-Con this past year. Alan, it's good to see you once again, brother, at least talk to you. Who do you have in the final round? Do you have Josh Macuga or do you have Mark Reilly?
I gotta say, love them both. They're awesome. I'm gonna go with Yodi, my boy Reilly.
It's a smart play, and after meeting Alan, I know he's a gentleman of a high IQ. He is going with Yodi, and so now we're going to have to take another caller, and they are going to get saddled with the task of getting Cinderella to the ball one more time. Caller, you're in Schmoeville. Jete, give it to me. Who do we got?
This is Isaiah.
Isaiah! How the hell are you, my friend? You?
I'll be doing a lot better if the person that I'm with wins.
Well, hey, you know what? You're going to get Josh Macuga, Isaiah, so I wish you guys the best of luck. It's going to be another huge upset if he beats Reilly, but hey, it could happen. Stranger things have taken place.
It's true.
So we got Alan and Isaiah competing. We have Josh Macuga and Mark Reilly competing, and everybody's wondering, where is Christian Harloff?
Was there another guy that was here before?
There was.
Yeah, you guys apparently he was friends with you. Apparently that it wasn't reciprocated. With all that out of the way, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to get to the ultimate Schmoedown, and entering the studio first is going to be the underdog. You know, it was a Cinderella story. Nobody expected this guy to make it, even out of the first round. Nobody expected this guy to make it out of his mama's womb all that 48 years ago. And he's here today to compete. He's the one. He's the only. You guys know him. You love him. He loves television and movies, hopefully. Josh, the Wild Man, Macuga!
Don't play the music. All right, Wild Man, I got a couple questions for you. Who directed Alien 3?
Rick Moranis!
That's absolutely ridiculous. All right, the next one. Who starred in My Best Friend's Wedding?
Claire Danes!
That's the dumbest thing you possibly have ever said. All right, then how about Rocket Raccoon? What kind of animal was he?
It's a lemur! It's a lemur!
For God's sakes, I just said raccoon! You're all right, listen, I got a question for you. The whole problem is, what do you think, man? You think I was tough? This chump will kill you. What, are you afraid? Are you afraid?
For the first time in my life, what do you want me to say? I'm scared! I'm scared, right? I'm scared!
Well, listen, you're in a tank. You're a 175 Italian tank. Go in there. Run over him. You're a tank, Josh. You're gonna get him.
I got him.
What a acting seminar that was. Man, we just got to see a lot of passion, a lot of heart. Summarizing Josh Macuga's entire existence was just a lot of misguided bull in a China shop passion. Josh Macuga, how do you feel, buddy?
I'm ready.
That passion got him here, though.
Yeah, passion got him here. It might have got him laughed out of the studio before the final Schmoedown even takes place. And now your competitor, Josh. He's one of the favorites of this tournament right from the get-go. You guys know him. You love him. He's the editor-in-chief of the Schmoesnow.com website, and he has been nicknamed Yodi from a contest we had last year. Facty McFactorson himself. Please welcome to the studio, Mark Yodi Reilly. Oh. Now what's happening here?
Whoa.
Look at that. Stands for Reilly. God, the Blue Fairy!
Oh, there he is. Sleeping Reilly. I know that you are upset. I know that you think you're not worthy of the Ultimate Schmoedown final. I want you to
Voice is
listen
creeping
to me
me out.
very carefully. Reilly, you deserve this. You worked hard to get here. Whether Christian Harloff, Josh Macuga, or that guy down the street who always calls you a loser, likes it or not. You worked hard to get to the Ultimate Schmoedown final. You knew your stuff. You knew your movie knowledge. You are the Rain Man of movie knowledge. And I am so happy that I can grant you this wish. This wish for you only. You are in the Ultimate Schmoedown final. Yes, that's right. You are going to be the people's champion.
This fairy's really milking her time.
Schmoeville's champion. You are going to the finals to face none other than Josh Macuga.
What an amazing dream. I know what I have to do.
Oh boy.
Let's do this.
Please have something on under that shirt.
Very elaborate. Very nice. We can all agree that if you can all agree that if you lose after that intro, you're gonna look like an asshole.
Or he'll just have the best intro and we'll forget that he
True.
lost.
That was unbelievable. The hair. You have the hair. The hair can sell it. All right.
Woo!
So, Jeff, after round, just the intros. Who won the intro?
I think that was pretty good. I'm gonna go with Superman.
Thank you, sir.
He is an alien. Now, you guys know how the Ultimate Schmoedown is played. You guys have made it here to the final. Congratulations, champions. And now one of you will be crowned winner for the rest of the year, the other a loser to be buying everybody else's tab at Applebee's. After the show, you guys know how round one works. You guys each get 6 questions. You will be awarded 1 point. There is no stealing. In round 2, there is stealing. And you also must use your Ask a Schmo for one of the 4 questions, which you will choose from a category handed to you by the smelly hat owned by Cody, the intern. Upham. All right, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado,
let's rock.
Let's begin the finals for the Ultimate Schmoedown. Make sure, Schmoeville, you are live tweeting out there at SchmoesKnow, hashtag SchmoesKnow. Go to the Schmoeville Facebook page, Schmoeville !, and do the live chat. All right. Wildman, you are the heavy underdog.
Heavy.
Pick your category.
Is my microphone on? Can we?
It's on. It's on. 1 or 2.
Okay. I'm gonna go 2.
You're gonna go.
Oh, you got me asking you the questions, buddy. I'm there for you.
We won 50 wings this weekend, buddy. Let's keep the luck going.
So, Mark Riley, you'll be number 1. I will go ahead and kick off asking Josh in the realm of animated questions. True or false?
Ooh.
Joss Whedon wrote Toy Story 2.
True or false? That's true.
That is incorrect. That is false. He wrote part 1, though.
Damn.
Did write part 1 of Toy Story. Picking up with action adventure. Who directed the film Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon?
Ang Lee.
Wow.
Give the man a point. He's on the board. He's getting a sweat going. In comedy, the quote, "When Mr. Bigglesworth gets upset, people die," is from what film?
Austin Powers.
Correct.
Give the man another point. All right.
All right, so now we get to Riley.
2 out of 3.
Round 1.
Yeah.
Riley, round 1, animated. What is the name of Steve Carell's character in the Despicable Me franchise?
Gru.
Correct.
Which you could play, by the way, if you take that Superman costume off.
I just want to know, does my chest look better now than Josh Macuga?
It's about even. It's about even.
All right.
It's about even.
In the category of action adventure, true or false? Sean Connery was in the Avengers.
Are you serious? False.
It's true. He was in the film called The Avengers with Uma Thurman.
Oh,
oh, the
burn! The old switcherooski, baby!
The Blue Fairy is in the studio! The Blue Fairy is in the studio!
I knew that. I didn't know that.
Action adventure film.
And it was terrible.
Comedy. Who was the female star of the world according to Garp? Was it Glenn Close, Meryl Streep, Julia Roberts, or Sally Field?
Meryl Streep.
It's incorrect. Glenn Close.
Damn it.
All right.
I never heard of that movie.
Those are our three. Those are our three.
And Christian, early in the game, it's 2-1. So
Josh Macuga is in the lead.
See what happens. Okay, Josh, back to you. In the realm of sci-fi/fantasy, who played the object of Tom Cruise's affection in the Ridley Scott fantasy film Legend?
Legend. Wait, hold on. His female interest in Legend?
Yes.
The object. I know it's Tom Cruise, so it's hard for him to have a female love interest, but, you know, it's a fantasy movie.
Legend's
5, 4.
Nicole Kidman, I don't know.
Incorrect. Mia Sara, sorry.
Also from Ferris Bueller fame. And, of course,
Matthew Broderick.
Time Cop. I hate you guys so much. Romantic comedy. Drew Barrymore goes undercover and back to high school in which film?
Never Been Kissed.
Correct.
You've seen that way too many times.
She gets eggs thrown at her. It's
what
hysterical.
a nerd. What a nerd. And finally, Josh, in horror thriller, the original 1973 film The Exorcist takes place in which city?
Boston.
That is incorrect. Your conviction. I like the conviction.
Yeah.
Can tell them what it is?
Hey, yo, you got yourself a demon in that kid over there.
Washington, D.C.
Yeah, there you go. We also would have accepted Georgetown.
Okay. All right. Yodi, here we go. Sci-fi fantasy. Yeah. How many scenes do Gary Oldman and Bruce Willis have together in The Fifth Element? Is it 1, 0, 4, or 2.5?
I know this from my show, Guilty Movie Pleasures, every Tuesday on the Schmoedown Network.
That's a good plug. Now stop talking.
Quiet.
How many scenes do they have?
How many scenes do Gary...
What are the things
I'll
again?
read it again. How many scenes do Gary Oldman and Bruce Willis have together in The Fifth Element? Is it 1? Is it 0? Is it 4? Is it 2.5?
0.
That's correct.
Got it right. Wow. Well done. Great guess.
Okay.
That was Broderick style right there.
Okay. Yeah. In the category of rom-com, we have who starred in the rom-com 27 Dresses?
Katherine Heigl.
Correct.
He's a huge Katherine Heigl fan. Not a lot of people know this about
Did you hear me say it through
superhero
now,
costume?
In horror thriller, another city question. In what American city does The Ring take place?
I don't know. Portland, Maine.
Seattle.
Seattle, I
All
knew.
right, so Ken-
Oh, you knew mine and I knew yours. You're so cute.
All tied up, 3-3 going into round 2. All right, now here's how it works, Schmoeville.
Intense.
The contestants will pick out a category, and whatever that is, they will have 4 questions. You can steal this round, but you have to use Ask the Schmo at least once. You can steal in this round from your opponent. Josh Macuga, the other.
We can only use it once.
You can only use Ask a Schmo once.
Right.
But you can steal throughout, and you can put back your category once. Okay, go ahead.
And I go first?
You go first.
I just want to see the Boston area, The Exorcist. I say you demons stay out of that little girl's body.
Yeah.
Airborne is a category?
Oh, it's just a joke.
Oh, you bastards.
I told you, that worked to perfection.
I got this. I'm going to win it. Fuck.
His favorite movie, Jeff, is Airborne for some
Did you
ungodly
stick that at the
reason,
top?
so. Jeff just asked what is Airborne, Josh, and I'll let you guys do it afterwards.
What'd you get?
2000s movies?
Yeah.
Okay, you can keep that, you can throw it away.
Oh, right, because Airborne doesn't count.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, I'll take it. 2000s
2000
movies.
movies.
Taking movies in the year 2000. This will go from the year 2000, the horrific Y2K.
That was beautiful, Ken.
Wow.
Ellis did not. Hold on. You got to open up the one I sent you.
Oh, okay.
Here we go again.
I already have.
I sent him the brand new one, and he didn't.
Yeah.
You got to open it up.
Blue Fairy,
all over it. No, it's not. We
already have the first question,
all.
Josh.
We have all.
Here we go.
All right.
Is that the one?
Yes. In the film Old School,
Okay.
what is the name of the electronics store where Vince Vaughn is an employee and owner?
Oh, God. It's not Circuit City. It's like something like that. It's I own 3 of these. You think I got to the top by doing that? I own 9 cities. Farts?
5.
I don't know. I'm sorry.
4, 3, 2, 1. Reilly?
I don't know either, but I'm going to try to just guess, like Matthew Broderick. Stereo City?
That is correct.
Oh my God!
No, that is incorrect. That is incorrect.
What is it?
Speaker City.
Speaker City! Oh my God, it's so
You know
close.
what?
I sold it with City something, remember?
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
God dang.
Heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Yeah, next question. All right, give me a second.
I was like kryptonite.
We got the 2000s movies.
It wasn't his document. That's why I was looking at the other one. So.
Yeah, you're looking
You got to go to it, guy.
Guys, just take a breath. Take a moment.
That's fine.
Cut me, Cody. Cut me.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
In the animated film, this shall remain nameless.
Okay. Stereo City?
Huh?
Is that an
Yeah,
animated
just Stereo City. Yeah. Carl Fredricksen is a grouchy character in which Pixar film?
Carl Fredricksen is a grumpy character in what Pixar film? I don't know Pixar that well.
5,
4,
Toy Story?
3. That is incorrect.
Up.
Mark Reilly gets the point.
Man,
Mark
I've seen
Reilly
that one.
gets the point. You have 2 more questions, Josh, and you will have to use your Ask a
I should
Schmo
have asked one there. Son of a beast thing.
for one of those films. The film Pan's Labyrinth
Yeah.
takes place during World War II.
Yes.
In which country? Is it A, Germany, B, Portugal, C, France, or D, Spain?
It would be D, Spain.
Wow, give him the point, Kenny. Very confident.
What's Almodovar? So, or Inarritu, or Guillermo del Toro.
Guillermo del Toro.
I got there. I got there, Balis.
What's the count right now, Ken?
4-4.
It is now time number 4.
Okay. All right, here we go, Josh. Your final question for the 2000s. Frank Abagnale Jr. is the lead character in what film based on a true story? You have to use your Ask a Schmo.
Go ahead, one of you guys. Kristian, I'll ask. My trainer. My trainer throughout this whole process, aka my opponent from last week, my Apollo Creed.
This film is Catch Me If You Can.
That is correct.
Okay, Mark Reilly is now up.
What?
Yeah,
you got it right.
Yeah. Oh, I thought I was
oh yeah, congratulations. You're so cocky, I didn't even feel like I needed to give you the answer.
Sorry.
So
he was eating the
Oh, I picked
yeah. Superman just expects somebody to
Yeah, you gotta
yank
hand it
for
to
him,
me.
yeah.
Scores and soundtracks, I'll keep it.
Oh my God! You dick! We knew this was coming.
Here's how this is going to work. So JTE has been given 4 either scores or soundtracks.
You should have told me that. I wouldn't have done it then. I'm kidding. Go.
So he's gonna play a little of it. You'll get a chance to guess. If not, your opponent can steal.
This is the category that Mark Reilly has always said.
Yeah.
He is a genius at. He's wearing a Superman costume.
This is
but I
like
can't
Shaquille
wait to see
O'Neal
what happens.
fouled out.
Jate, go ahead and play the first either score or song, and Mark Reilly will go ahead and guess. Here we go. It's like getting Star Wars all over again. All right. We're gonna let it go for about.
And now, on with the countdown.
Uh-oh, Ken's starting to dance over there.
Kick in for a second.
Yeah.
This is I'm gonna give him.
I'm starting to feel it.
Yeah. Cut it.
You do have your Ask a Schmo.
Ask a Schmo, Christian.
That is from Young Guns 2.
That is false.
That's correct.
Young Guns.
Correct. It's the first one.
Nicely done, Reilly. Well maneuvered. Jate, hit us with the second clip.
The second one. Nice, Jate.
That's all I get?
Oh, that's a quick leash.
For that one?
That's a quick leash.
Yeah, for that one. That's quick.
Can I hear it again? Just that snippet?
Go back and play that. Just that snippet.
I can do it with my mouth.
No.
Okay, here we go.
Terminator?
Correct.
Damn it! I knew that one.
Wow. He knew it the whole time.
You're such a dick.
Drama.
All right, here we go.
6 to 5. 6 to 5.
6 to 5.
Stop.
Which film was that movie in?
Looks like he just had a butt full of kryptonite.
Yeah. You're going to get a 5 count on this one. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I don't know.
Fight Club.
Correct.
Yeah. Oh my God!
Wow, this is neck and neck. Wow, this is good.
Yeah.
Is it one more sound clip?
One more sound clip. Here we go. This is
Kenny, are we tied?
He did.
We're tied.
We're all tied at 6. Here you go. Here we go. Tied at 6. Wow.
See, I told you, man. You can't.
Here you go.
This
is a real nail biter.
Yeah, it is.
Here.
I'm gonna let this one go for a second. That's what kicks in.
Caddyshack.
Correct.
Oh, wow.
All right, so now we are in the final round.
The king has returned.
You guys will pick out of a category here. This is the final. It is 7-6. Now, what you do here, here's how the final round works. You guys will hear the category. No one will whisper in the studio.
No, Reilly looking at each other's
Reilly can whisper all he wants.
After you hear what the category is, you write your points down. Then you hear the question.
It's 7-6 right now.
7-6. Reilly's up by 1 point.
That means Reilly gets to choose the category. Go ahead and put your magic super kryptonite hand in there.
Well, Scores and Soundtracks is gone, so that's
gone.
good.
Reilly, choose.
Yeah. And I can't put it back if I don't like it, right?
Unless it's airborne.
Yeah.
If it's airborne, you can put it back.
Be airborne.
80s movies.
Okay, 80s movies. All right, here you go.
Is this the closest one you've had so far?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
All right. Are you ready? Here we go.
The judges have conferred, and we have a question.
All right. Here is the final question in the Ultimate Schmoedown with your points. What famous brother-sister duo appear in the cast of 16 Candles? Brother-sister duo. What a nail biter.
Pretty good.
The winner of this, by the way, whether it be Macuga or Reilly, by the way, and Reilly doesn't even know that we changed this up yet. What we're going to do is, Reilly, don't worry about the poster. We'll talk about that another time. We're actually going to do a replica belt, wrestling belt. This is Ultimate Schmoedown that the champion will hold for as long as he holds on to the title. It'll be a replica belt that the AfterBuzz Studio, Phil, Kevin, and Maria have been so generously to. They're going to get
it
for
is
us.
so exciting and the least surprising thing I've ever heard if you've seen the show for any amount of time and you know what a wrestling fan Christian is.
Here we go. Write it down, Macuga. Done.
It's done. It's
All right,
written down.
All right. So that's it. So now we're going to because Mark Reilly, you're in the lead. How many points did you bet?
7.
What did you get?
Oof. John and Joan Cusack.
That's correct. Mark Reilly has won the Ultimate.
Superman is flying
what did
in.
You have?
6. John and Joan Cusack.
Oh.
Hey!
Wow.
You won!
Point. I blew that, and I should have asked Macuga first.
You know what? Look at Rocking and Superman. This is the first time.
Oh my God!
Not in front of Grauman's Chinese Theater that Rocky and Mark Reilly.
One bet, Rock. 1
Look
point.
at this.
Yeah.
Look at this guy.
Wow. Look at that. All right, Reilly,
Damn.
you won the entire Ultimate Schmoedown. You get the belt. Anything that you want to say to Schmoeville real quick before we go? Got to go?
Guys, thanks for all the credit, man. That was tough.
Yeah.
I can't believe it. Thank you, Schmoeville, for
Sean
the
Connery.
support.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, that's my blue fairy.
No way.
Yeah, Sean Connery and the Avengers can suck my balls. Thanks, Schmoeville, for the support. Josh Macuga,
Really, guys.
freaking love you.
What a great show.
You're
Jeff,
awesome.
Thank you so much for joining us in studio. Hope you had a good time.
Jeff Balis, ladies and gentlemen. John Campea from AMC Movie News
Tiffany
earlier.
Smith back in town.
Tiffany Smith's back in town for the whole gang here at Schmoeville, and for the newest member of the AMC Movie News team, Mark Ellis. I'm Kristian and Mark.
Yeah, make sure go to iTunes. It's so important that you guys get us to around. We're almost at 700 right now. Comments and likes. Get us to 1,000. Help us out on iTunes. Even if you're watching on YouTube right now, check us out. YouTube.com also /Schmoes Podcast for the whole entire crew. And the end of the Ultimate Schmoedown Celebrity Impression Dating Game back next week.
Miss Movies, thanks for the peanut butter fudge.
Everybody, Finstock, the whole crew. Peace out, mother Fs.
From producers Christian Harloff, Mark Ellis, and the entire Schmoes Know crew, we would like to thank you for listening to the Schmoes Know Movie Show promotional consideration provided by the following: Dollar Shave Club, Ripped Apparel, and schmoesknow.com. Special thanks to Kevin Undergaro and Maria Menounos, the author of Every Girl's Guide to Diet and Fitness, in stores now, as well as the entire AfterBuzz TV Network crew. To watch or listen to other Schmoes episodes, get movie news, and join the conversation, be sure to visit schmoesknow.com. I'm the Pit Boss, still here, and this has been a presentation of Schmoes Know.